Hey guys. Hey J Money. Avente. Ooh Lily. Ooh Lily. Hey Flopson. Oh, one sec. Hey guys. Mousen. RRQ tossed so many rounds after getting clean entry and even player disadvantage. Yeah, that's what Fnatic does to you. Hey Brett. Hey Spudge. Kushi had a game. Hey Ari. Here to listen to you glaze and boaster. I could play this two ways, right? It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for me to be negative. It's gonna be difficult. I'll try and find a way. I'll try and find a way. Any monsters in the chat? It's funny that like Boaster has a life game, but still after having a life game, he's absolutely dwarfed by Chronicle still. Like you can't life game his way even to like even looking as good as Chronicle. Like it's ludicrous how good Chronicle stats are. Trying to think, how many of these people do I not have in my top? I have Chronicle something Aspas. I don't have Verno, Boaster, Cloud, Mako Spirits, Benji, John. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I don't have Smoggy. Valon, Kiko, Leaf, Nuts. Where the fuck is Nuts? He's down here somewhere, isn't he? Yeah, Mr. Nuts. The 119 ACS. Is he the lowest ACS at champs? Second lowest. Hello, everyone. Here for the glaze. You guys have come to the wrong stream if you think I'm gonna sit here glazing. I'll do my best to say nice things, but that's not the right stream. You're not on the right stream. Sayonara, hey, how are you? Here for the hater act.
On that attack
okay, let's just go into it.
this comp for RRQ, but defensively on this map they've always been pretty good. So a defense side start for RRQ.
Let's have a look just historically what's going on here. So for context, Fnatic's Ascent was sucking recently. Losing 3 in a row in EMEA. And their streak was from Toronto to EWC, and then they got railed in Europe after not really. They didn't switch enough up. And didn't develop enough, I don't think. So what they've done is they've just switched to a Sage. I'd be very curious to see how they've switched, because the composition's still stylistically similar to Chamber. Obviously, Chamber, I think, has more it can do to get picks and stuff. But I'd be very interested to see if they've changed, what they've changed beyond just changing this to the Sage, if that makes sense. it's interesting to see how Bosa performs a lot more in the kill department. He's allowed himself to IGL a lot less on Abyss. Where did he say that? Because it's annoying. It's annoying to sit here and keep saying that Fnatic are very good at making strats and being able to call strats. And they go to a comp that on attack side here is going to have a lot of access to hard hits and doesn't need to be played particularly complicated. And they win all their attack rounds. He said it in the post-match interview. Yeah. I asked the question on Twitter, right? And they did it in the AMA. I said, why do you play so slow with comps like when you got like a Neon on or like aggressive like comps? And their response was like, you can't do it in this current meta. And I think he was lying, or at least just lying to himself. Because you can, like, you clearly can do it. I presume, I flicked through very quickly. I didn't watch it, but I flicked through these rounds just to see the timings in which they exec. And like the timings were sub 1 minute, like in half these rounds. Do you know if Platshot go live today? I don't know. I don't know. Hello, Endude. Right, anyway. What's going on for RRQ over here? Fnatic did pick Ascent. Ban Sunset, ban Haven. Okay. So yeah, it's not a map that RRQ are particularly amazing at. Consistently struggling on the map, only beating T1 in recent times. So Fnatic did essentially 13-10 a team that isn't very good on this map. Will be my cynical angle. I do think RRQ picking Abyss was a good idea. I think. Was there any other maps that they could have gone to? Can't go to Haven. You don't go to Bind. They probably can't go here. Yeah, the Abyss pick was decent. They had to try it.
This could be a very different story, and you've now lost what is that Alpha era.
What is your opinion on who's the better, Julius, Kayak, or Durka? It's you're asking the wrong question, I think.
Entry playing on the chamber and replaced it with a Sage. So I want to see.
Sorry, I'm trying to remember my hotkeys. 2, 3, 1, 2, 2. Okay, right.
What sort of attack side ideas?
So already what I'm seeing from Fnatic on the attack, the problem they had before was leaving the Vice here by themselves quite a lot, with like 4 up here. So already I'm liking the fact that they're not just leaving Chronicle on a fucking island.
Sure, I think this comp will be great on defense. Will it be good on attack?
Defensive ideas from RRQ and the pistol firing squad in mid, waiting for that spot.
They catch off the firing squad and then use the Yoru to default B main, which is, I don't know if you remember broadcast, I did say to Boaster that they needed to add the Yoru B main.
RRQ just have to fall back now, play that more deep, mid a bit more open, and looks like they might even be thinking about going in towards.
A reclear from RRQ with Recon Teo Salvo. I don't really understand what they're doing though. Why are they salvoing and reconning at the same time? What? Have I missed something here? I don't really understand what this idea is, to be honest with you. If it's time so the recon hits for them in the smoke and then they're peeking and the salvo then happens to push them out the smoke, out of the box, that's cool. But the salvo's so early that they're just going to run away and then the recon's pointless, right? Or maybe they think there's multiple people here. Maybe they think there's loads of people here and they're going to push through or something. I don't know. Not particularly convincing usage of salvo recon. I'm a bit confused why they're not breaking this flash either.
Fnatic are renowned for this slow style. It was mentioned by Wire, and I agree that getting into those post plants, they're going to be tough. to beat, especially in a pistol round.
If RRQ do anything on this side of the map to
Make the first move.
they're not really playing with strong information right now.
Certainly with the reveal, there's a Muto following it up, but
RRQ don't really know anything.
they're trying to make a favorable engagement happen, find something when the reveal pops off, but Fnatic are quick to deny it. Again, back to covering their base.
Now we know Fnatic,
But in general, if you're gonna play a pistol like this, stacking towards B and playing lighter on A, I think is the correct approach. Retaking A on pistol in particular is quite easy. Retaking B on pistol is quite hard. So you stack towards B and try and hold. I think in general is fine.
as mentioned by White, and I agree that
But they don't really have anything informing this beyond that, I think.
they are walking into a stack up. 3 players on this side of the map. They're slowly
I don't really understand why we're just throwing.
well by that smoke being into position. Actually, Alfia doesn't look like he's going to use that wall for the post plant at all.
Let's see, does not having a smoke on door actually mean anything? Or that's quite nice actually. Fnatic knew the door was shut and therefore didn't need the second smoke. So they might as well do something with it interesting.
As the exec comes that wall for the post plant at all.
I didn't realize it's so easy to.
Oh, he's going
You can see this line from here.
up into the window.
Oh, he peeked it. Okay.
So as the exec comes through, Kayak already dropped, and here's Alfia's opportunity. He's been
Alpha should farm up here.
one.
Yeah.
He's pulling them back into this.
If I was gonna put anyone on a Sage wall to look over B, it's probably Alpha. Yeah.
Immediate response from Fnatic puts them into a 4v2 post lane.
We did try it once before, but.
That double entry's huge, but
Oi!
Alfia still on the wall. Has been tough to break back in.
You can chill there though.
Alfia still on the wall. Has been caught out. Chronicle in a fairly open position, but will just opt to fall back. The wall has been caught out. Chronicle in a fairly open position, but will just opt to
Chronicle should just go back site and then hope that like his flash comes back and then just use the flash.
back. Utility not really available for that attack, but a singular paranoia for Munya.
So get them back through.
I don't know if being the low HP person as the kind of trigger point is good or bad. Like obviously Crash is gonna be the person they're gonna fight off of. But he's low HP. Low HP to the point where they could easily just quickly kill him, and then the trade might not come in at all because he's so low HP.
Just got his flashback online. There's the shot.
Yeah, like that.
Kindo Crashies, who is desperately low, is down.
I think if I'm a low HP person, I just hide back site most of the time. I just sit in a corner. And I just use the fact that they have to run through and I can classic them at close range.
There's a Boathouse who have to pull this off. Chronicle with a pistol in hand. It might not be
Interesting that they go for this plant specifically.
Has tough to
response from Fnatic.
fairly open ball for that attack.
Got his flashback.
They're going for this plant.
A singular paranoia for Munya.
So get them back.
I wonder, is there any reason why? I guess I just feel more comfortable clutching with this one. The one in the archway was something they did for a while.
Chronicle's just got his flashback online. There's the shot from Kindo Crashies, who is desperately low, is down. And it's 2 players in Boathouse who have to pull this
Was the
off.
Sage pick a complete read from Fnatic that RRQ expected Chamber and picked Teo as a result? No, because RRQ are already playing Chamber comp. We're already playing Teo. I think that it's unlucky for RRQ that Fnatic swapped because the Teo would be quite good against the Chamber. But I don't think that's Fnatic swapped because of anything to do with RRQ. I think that they just weren't playing very well with the Chamber and just wanted to play Sage. You know.
Pistol in hand. It might not be the classic. His signature weapon.
Was there any other buff for Sage besides the wall distance? There wasn't any tangible buff. But I try not to make this into a joke. The buff is just people realizing Sage exists as a good agent.
Kills nonetheless and put Fnatic
Oh,
to
res
0
distance.
up.
Okay.
He's definitely one of
Yeah, but still, the real buff is just people being reminded that Sage isn't a shit agent.
Start to see Chronicle coming back to that championship.
And Cypher is actually kind of crap right now, I think.
In this tournament.
I still think Cypher's awful.
He is that start at least I've been seeing since 2020.
Obviously, we had some slower weeks.
Yeah, Sage has always been good. Hey, MBS.
As well, but he certainly found his form towards the end of the season. But that was something Uber was saying. You know, across the board, it's felt like
Like, I feel,
season.
she's always been, like, playable on a few maps. I think she's strong right now because of those buffs. and because I think that Cypher is like become like people understand Cypher so well that like they don't. It's like just bad. So I don't mind Vice Chamber. I think Vice Chamber and Sage are like the fun Sentinels right now to play. I can right buff Cypher. Don't need. Like, how long have we had a meta where Cypher's been valuable? It's been almost for 5 years. Like, you don't need to have him around right now. People still play him. So like, why buff him? They need to buff Killjoy. I think it's fine to have these agents that like have been a meta for so long to like not be optimal picks. People thought Sage was shit because double Judas comps were like not favored. So like you can't fit a Sage here. And then like Sentinels, like everyone like KJ and Cypher were stronger back in the day, right? Like over time they have been nerfed. And like to play without a true Sentinel is quite like it is a bit weird. I think it's more to do with the fact that people are very good at playing against Cypher nowadays, though. What do you think about this comp Apex using as well? Does that have any legs on attack besides spamming B hits? I don't think this comp is as good as the chamber comp. Yeah, I mean, I could go into it more. So I thought that Vice would still be like the premier Senti to run in a double Senti, but after watching some Sage, I kind of get it. Like after seeing what Sage is doing, like I can see this being a thing, or even like Corrode watching some of the things G2 did. I know G2 lost on attack, but they were playing Sage Cypher for some reason. Picking your agents is a generally good idea. Not necessarily because new agents are strong, because some of the new agents aren't that strong, but it's usually better to impose your will over the opponent than it is to like have to read them, if that makes sense. So like by picking a new agent, you can oppose like a new like approach to them, and they have to react to you, you know, which is better than having to react to the new thing. And then over like the next 2 or 3 months, they like that agent gets found out a little bit more. And if it truly is broken, then you continue to play it. But if it's not broken, then you just switch. So Fnatic never liked smoking middle. And I think they don't like smoking middle partly because their own defense idea is to punish this smoke. So like every time an opponent smokes this on Fnatic's defense, Kayak will come close to the smoke, flash through, Crashies will recon here, and then they got Alpha or someone short. And then they just like wall bang through the smoke, basically. They always get a kill through the smoke. So it feels like by their own logic, they're like, well, why would we smoke the bottom and middle to allow this combination of recon flash to kill us? The problem is that they now just don't have a smoke in middle and can just get peeked. But in general, Fnatic aren't going to hate the idea of having to take dry fights against teams because look who they have on their fucking team, you know what I mean? They have killers. So it's like, they don't mind on an attack side of Ascent that's the harder side with a composition that is defense-sided to just be like, well, if you want to fight us, you can, because we'll take 50-50s any day. It's more of a problem when the other team has an operator. So like, it'd be interesting to see if RRQ get operator economy and see if Fnatic shift this mentality. Obviously, when they don't have an op, like, they're gonna happily take these 50-50s, you know.
To escape and have his teammate double up onto Alfia. A great start for this round.
Yeah, not bad at all. Exactly what we needed to see. Fnatic being put in their place early on.
It's crazy. You're kind of been broken for a long time, but people are only catching on now. I mean, I was telling Dirk in a 2020 off season, 2023 off season, I was like telling him like, Dirk, if you, because I didn't know if I was gonna coach next year for Fnatic or not. But I did remember planting the seed with Dirk a few times, being like, bro, like make sure that you can play Yoru, please.
Some move towards this A side, but plenty of numbers here for RRQ. Full utility online. Towards this side.
Was that the off season he played 100 Euro games and ranked in a row? Yes. Yeah, that was the, yeah.
40 seconds on the clock. Time to make a decision. I think numbers here for RRQ.
That's what I love about Durka. You can, like, he might have just done that anyway, but if you say to Durka, like, look, we need you to get good at this thing, he is the kind of person who will just be like, okay, I will play 100 games ranked in a row on it. And I think people misremember the history of Durka that year. Like, he had a rough start to the year for sure, but globally he was insane. I know we didn't go particularly deep globally, but like his Euro globally was disgusting. Was there anything else that happened really? Not really. They just got trade contact killed. Was that the year he was running the C backside fake clone? No, that was this year. Griefy, anyone asking questions not related to this game so much, like I can't answer too many. So if you want to ask me difficult questions that are more not to do with this, then I have a Discord. You can go ask questions, and I have like a ask me. I have like an ask channel. So yeah, so Fnatic have been doing this default where like they Sage slow outside B main, but I don't really understand it. Oh, I think it's basically if this flash hits, they'll wait for the slow. If the flash doesn't hit, they just go. They use a lot of resources for this B main default. 1, 2, 3, 4 things. A clone. Is that clone? It is funny. I wish I could clip. Did you guys remember the interview I did with Boaster where like I was like, bro, you should just send Kayak. I was in post plant with Kayak and no post match with Kayak and Boaster. And I was saying like, bro, just put the Euro clone in B main. Like you've got it. Like but the TP cross middle, Euro clone B main. And then drone middle for the Yoru. Now what? 1 minute 15, Boaster. Now what? They still got Sage res, which is good.
Again, ground to a halt. This defensive setup is incredibly passive. They're not trying to give any of...
Boaster's doing a pretty iffy job with these smokes. Like, you can't throw a smoke and then not do any pressure off of it at all and expect it to work too much. The fact that this Omen still has this line, if even like Teo could just drone right now, it doesn't feel like anything, you know what I mean? Like if someone was like pressuring here right now, it'd feel like something, but right now it just feels like a beat split to me. I don't know if RRQ are good enough to recognize that though. Can this Yoru place TP into gel from here? Because that would be kind of sick. If not, I don't really know what Jemkin's doing, to be honest with you. He should not be here right now. Because, like, what's he going to do? If they be split right now, like, they've lost. I don't know what he's doing. He's not putting it gel, though. He's putting it fucking CT. It's, like, pointless. He's not doing anything. The drone comes out now. I think RRQ are, like, I know I'm being very, very, maybe I'm being harsh, but they're not doing very well right now. Like Monyet doesn't know what he's doing in A main. The drone's so late, and the Yoru's in a position that is not helpful. And then we're just bunkered B. Like I don't think they really get it, to be honest with you. So let's try and break down why I'm being a dick. So for me here, they know that Fnatic's kind of comp can't default the whole map very well. So they have the Omen watching A main. I don't understand why he ever gives up this line. Like he gives it up and then like smokes himself off in a situation that he really doesn't need to. The Teo drone, as soon as so they've lost here, and now they're losing here. Like at a certain point around about a minute mark, this guy needs to drone, probably A main, and then the Omen could probably push up with it to get a deep line. This guy needs to put a TP back B side. And then, like, in that situation, you have an Omen here, a Teo kind of floating, a Yoru who's ready to immediately go B with 3B. And the only place Fnatic could go that would win would be, like, well, they wouldn't. They'd have to somehow push back A main and go up short. They'd end up going up short is the weakest point on the map. But who cares? You have all of A main. But instead what happens is the Omen, like, smokes himself off. The Teo drone is extremely late. The Yoru doesn't go back to B. Like all these tiny details like are just missing, I feel like. I think that I think that Sova saving his recon for the bunker is fine. But at the very worst, what we should see here is the Yoru to put in his TP back B side if you can actually do it from here. I don't know if you can. Like JT seems to think you can, but Monyet has no smokes to help with this fucking site hole because he smoked A main for no reason. This smoke has given RRQ brain rot. Miniboo spams it. So he said RRQ is such a coach reliant team that they don't know what to do with the new comp. Okay. That might be fine. But what I'm seeing here is coach reliant stuff and they're not doing it well. Like unless it's just the fact that like they really just are that like is this smoke the kind of thing that just they're so like coach reliant that they see something like a smoke like this and then their brains just fucking explode? Because that's what it looks like to me. Like this smoke here, Monyet gives up A main because the smoke goes. He's not confident enough to hold A main without the smoke. And then smokes for himself. He's still peeking, so like he's confident enough. And now he's just like not sure what to do. They hear a Sage Wall at middle and he smokes himself off. I don't understand this decision making at all. They need a smoke on B right now. He's used his last smoke for himself when there's nothing here. And because Crazy Guy's not used drone at all to confirm anything on this side of the map, I don't know what's going on. Like if this was RRQ regionally, I wouldn't be this mean. But like we're at champs now. I'm just gonna say what I see, and this isn't very good. And then even the drone for short now, I'm like, realistically, we've seen a Sage Wall here. We know we don't have B main. I mean, it's too late anyway, but if we are going to drone one of these two chokes, I think I would prefer the A main choke at this point. Because we know there's likely, if they were coming A, going to be people here. So we could at least isolate one of the chokes or something. Maybe part of that game is they know Fnatic plays so slow that they're not going to be committing a lot of the time or something. But even that, like, if we go back, like, there's no excuse to do this smoke, in my opinion. Their entire hold is on the basis that they can just sit jail. Maybe this is what Sliggy was trying to imply, that like against a chamber comp, sitting in jail, bunkering up like this, I've seen some teams do it and it works. Maybe they just were like, oh, we'll just do the same against Sage. But ultimately, the protocols and rotation and information gained from RRQ is not very good. And that's not got anything to do with chamber.
The util, the positions that RRQ are playing in as well, it's making it a bit of a headache for Fnatic. And with that extra time bought, rotation through from Jemkin, mid fully secured, and Fnatic are gonna go for this late control.
They were overthinking Fnatic wouldn't finish at 40 seconds. And would go for another fake. If that's the case, then absolutely the Omen should have got posted at deep on A main, right? Like if that was the case, you do the Teodra on A main, right? A slight mistake from Alpha here. I know he's got a good lurk here, but in the context that he has a Sage res, I would much prefer him with the pack right now. Like, he's not using his Sage res. And this is a kind of place, this is the exact situation in which a Sage res would be very, very valuable. When a team is bunkered up back B, they're very likely to get some trade frags. You can res very safely because you're like on the B site. This would be a nice time for Alpha to have that. Those are the kind of things in which like it's fun to like be a coach sometimes, because it's like what you guys see is Alpha making a nice kill, but what I see is Alpha making a mistake. Even though the result was the opposite, you know what I mean? Like the results-based analysis doesn't fly here.
It's clear that the other players are ones with utility. They're actually going to be able to put you into place, so you can't really afford to leave anyone else behind.
Yeah, I mean, the Sage can finish a lot quicker, I guess. Like, I still don't think it's that different playing against this comp than the Chamber. But the Sage does give them options to, like, quicker B split. And then obviously more potent B exec. So they're more likely to throw in earlier execs. Or feel like they can.
Try and hold on to the gun. They managed to keep all 5 players alive in the previous round, so there's definitely going to be a purchase up for RRQ, but it's one way you kind of watch this round and go, it seemed like they lost every single fight.
Well, that's it, right? Obviously, we're on board with Alpha for this succession. Those players on Boathouse trying to trade out while Boaster lurks the site. They had the smoke to...
Letting Fnatic be split like this, taking their time, considering flooding against Sage is impossible as a mistake. Yeah.
That's a very early upset for RRQ, but the
Jemkin glass cannon.
This is the benefit from having such a clean previous round, but that position from Boaster, it's sneaky. If Jemkin steps back out, if Cushy tries to cross the market, they could be caught off here.
Now has the idea that
This is the only problem with that TP is you do get stuck. Yeah. So they already have to start thinking of ways in which they could use this TP in a way that's like a bit different. Because that shouldn't happen. Or, like I said before, you probably need to smoke this sometimes. Like, they're so allergic to smoking this when they probably just need to. Or, where's the fucking drone? Oh, wait, there is a drone coming in. Your boy Cushy was very good at breaking it. What can they do right here? There's not a lot they can do. Kai can't be the person peeking first, though. He has to wait for teammates, I think. If they were really, really, really slow, they could probably wait for the Vice Flash if they really wanted it. But ultimately, they probably just need to smoke middle. They know that this operator's here. How many attack rounds should this comp get? It's a nice tail Sava. How many rounds should this comp get? 4? 5? 5? 4, 5? Maybe. But Fnatic usually are like a bit iffy on their defenses, so on Ascent.
Yeah, I love this from RRQ. The
Good
smoke
morning,
positioning
Mini.
on the ramp
Good
is
morning.
perfect, and again highlighting the benefit of having this Teho in. It's a difficult agent to use right now, but we've started to see some teams making that adaptation, and we saw it in the previous round in terms of slowing down the push. Ultimately,
And then they're scared to res for the whole match? Yeah, that's funny. The Teo being a direct counter to the Sage is kind of funny.
Seems to be improving day by day, game by game.
Sorry, if you do the Sage wall Fnatic did round 1, so the classic B wall, you make it so that your TP from B main get to shower by using the wall to go through the window. What the fuck? JT says no, so I'm gonna say no, but I don't know what you're trying to say. Oh, TP doesn't go through the window. You want it to go through the window? Yeah, that doesn't work.
Their victory
That doesn't work.
to get into that top 2.
Okay, so with all this B main conditioning Fnatic do, it means that they can run a fast B exec with this comp a little bit easier. And a fast B exec with the Sage comp is a lot better than with the Chamber comp, because this wall allows you to like see more shit, right? It's also decent against this comp RRQ are running, I think, because I think Cypher is just kind of meh. And it's not a Vice who's going to just instantly choke slam you. The only weird thing is that they are using a drone B main now for the first time, making it kind of obvious that they're going heavy B. I'm interested again. Like, let's look at this level of play, info cycling is really important. And I think that there are very few teams in the world who probably info cycle close to correctly. So like, I'm going to be an asshole and use RRQ as my case study for like, do we see good info cycling? Like, do we see a reaction? They have 2 drone agents, 2 info agents. Do we see any sort of reaction to this drone? Or what is RRQ's reaction? We're going to be looking at them this round a bit more.
First few rounds definitely haven't phased them.
So they still hold the line. The Omen wants to switch because I think he wants to be able to smoke more freely. And then the Teo can just have his gun out for aim in. I mean, ultimately, there's no need for info this round. They're getting BX'd, so it's probably fine. Look at this buggy Sage slow, by the way. These fucking abusers. This is kind of cool. This is kind of cool. Is there any cool shit you can do that's like... So I'm just looking at Valor Plant. No. Okay. It's fine.
He's claimed it for Fnatic. A plant now secured. A 5 versus 3. RRQ, well, you talked about the slow rounds. This was a bit more direct, but we might still get that late round save.
Well, I also think it was Boaster's paranoia that must have just been perfectly placed, because I think...
Is this Sage actually cooking, or RRQ can't play against any new comps ever? I think... From what I've seen early on, the problems in RRQ's game has nothing to do with the opponent's composition. Like, again, I've only watched a couple of rounds, and I don't know RRQ that well, but their info game is behind where it should be. Their rotational and information game on a defensive Ascent is not as good as it should be. And that's got nothing to do with a chamber, in my opinion. Unless it was a hard game plan idea, and I think having a hard game plan idea and keeping it when the opponent has had several weeks to change their ideas and their composition is a mistake. But I don't believe that. I think that they just don't, that there's just parts of their game that just aren't as good.
Currently in the server. This has been a very peculiar game. Both sides winning a lot of their rounds incredibly cleanly. And this time that pace change from Fnatic.
I think to some degree, I kind of wish to some degree we didn't talk about anti-strating sometimes, because I don't think anyone talks in the same language as anyone else about it or understands really. We just say the word anti-strating and just kind of like leave it hanging in the air. You know what I mean? We don't actually like tangibly say the material reasons why a team is doing something or not. What I'm seeing so far is RRQ just having some issues in their game. That was beautiful though. That exec was kind of beautiful.
Paranoia going through in the full blinded Cypher on the side of Xfero.
Let's I'm just gonna hard look at why. Sorry, what did they do wrong to? They have a Yoru operator. They just miss. They miss, and he's got TP towards A. I do think an adjustment they need to make is having this Yoru TP backside B more. In this game specifically, if they know that Fnatic are going to be using the B, abusing B a bit more, TP backside B. It is the adjustment they need to make.
Nicely done. Jemkin not able to hit the shot on the jumping kayak. It will be a 5 versus 4 with the big player of the previous round.
Yeah, they get fucking owned. Like, they just get kind of owned.
Looking for paranoia going through, and it's been clean rounds, been a couple of saves at a time. RRQ still able to buy up.
As a general idea, RRQ having decent anti-strats is something I've heard, but I don't know RRQ very well, and I don't know, like, I don't think I would be hard pressed to think a team is so good at anti-stratting that like they only win with anti-strats. Like, as someone who has played against a lot of teams who are very good, like I don't think it works quite like that. Their anti-strats probably are pretty decent, like I'd imagine. But I'd be very surprised if there's a team so good at anti-stratting that that's their identity. Yeah. FNS's style back in the day used to be an anti-strat style. But like you could tell that because like they would adjust their entire game every single game to like the other team, if that makes sense.
We got to be getting close to a record here.
I think this, what I'm seeing so far is a team who doesn't fully understand Ascent, but again, there's only been a couple of rounds of sample to like look at here.
So far, but not in this game. I think we've seen one. That was on Chronicle. Nonetheless, he's now got an operator of his own.
It's Sliggy's opinion. In my opinion, he usually overstates anti. That's the only thing about like being someone like Sliggy with his platform is that like Sliggy probably has a pretty good read that like RRQ are good at anti-stratting. But anytime that Sliggy will push that, probably like he probably knows that like that's more his opinion. Because now he's pushed it, now everyone in my chat is saying that Warbirds is like the god of anti, and like RRQ can't play unless like Fnatic changing from Chamber to Sage is the reason they lost this game. I'm like, bro, it just sounds like you're all just saying what Slicky says. Like, you're just copying Slicky. Like, Slicky's a smart guy, but you guys gotta start thinking of yourselves a little bit. Yeah. I mean, Balix, I'm not calling you out. I agree. Like, Warbirds probably is good at anti-strat, but so they tried they tried a fast A. So they have tried fast. But also just lied in his interview, right? Where I asked about the fast strat stuff. Boaster was just lying. They know that this is a problem with their game, and they have adjusted, right? Thank you, Jonas. Every time we have a new meta, RRQ are bad. At the end of the split, they're insane. But can't you just say that that is because they don't, they're not the best at working out a meta early, but then they do the hard work and figure it out? I don't really know.
All he can really hope to do is hold the cross.
There could even be a world here where they're going to group
Thank you, Zotox. What was your experience at your first LAN? I had my first internationally. It was very fun. First LAN in Valorant or first LAN in my life?
RRQ, they've shown us a lot of patience on the defensive side. This time it may be their downfall is that they
In my life? The first LAN I ever went to was I-40, like Insomnia UK LAN. I slept in a tent with a friend and played in the Counter-Strike Source tournament. I sat next to Call of Duty players who were taking the piss out of us because we couldn't prone in Counter-Strike. So that was fun. And then we were terrible and didn't get out groups. And I was annoyed because I actually played well and my team were just dreadful. But what I did do is because very games were at the event. So like Existence's team was at the event with NBK, RPK. I just went and watched them the entire event, and it was kind of fun to watch. Like it was like people who were actually very good at a game, and just see how they operated, you know. Hey Monster. So I-40, I was 16, I think. So this was 15 years ago. So the MBK was a 15-year-old playing Counter-Strike. And it was funny, MBK had a player on his team called Shock. And Shock like did a little whiff in a game. And MBK just like looked around at us and just like shook his head like Shock was like this biggest noob ever. And I just remember just being there like, bro, like Shock's one of the best players in the world. Not Shocks, Shock. And like this 15-year-old dweeb was just like shaking his head, you know. Generally though, it was smelly, horrible, like it was 99% guys back then. People shouting and screaming. It was typical UK LAN experience. It's very different these days, I feel like. Or at least a bit different. Sorry. It's just recon. Is it just a recon server ult? Nice stun idea. Is this after the timeout? I mean, Sage ult is free here, right? I know it's not because Salvo's and the tail ult. What? Why is he so... Oh my god. What a waste of a... He can't res. Has it EWC where I allowed one page of notes, and I think that would be huge. I don't want notes. I don't want notes. I don't think notes should be allowed. I think the game becomes way different with notes. I think Counter-Strike, you can have notes because it's not the same. Counter-Strike plays so differently than Valorant that like you could put any notes you want to and it doesn't matter. Like I could tell you what fucking setup that like half the teams in the world are running onto Counter-Strike, and I don't even play Counter-Strike. Whereas in Valorant, it's like the amount of tells that there are, you shouldn't be rewarded by looking at a piece of paper and just seeing the tells, you know? Thank you, Ivy, for the sub. I appreciate that. There's more information being given away in Valorant than there is in Counter-Strike, and I don't think you should be rewarded for... It would change the way you have to prepare the game as well, but... I like the fact that you don't have to be like so dynamic that you're thinking about tells in the way that like a piece of paper would punish you for it. I think it's kind of bad that there's teams right now who can't anti-strat some of the teams that have really obvious tells. And I still think that, like, yeah, I don't know. Like, back in the day, watching DRX or Vision Strikers, like, not get anti-stratted was, like, the most annoying thing ever. Because they just have, like, an obvious tell where it's like, oh, if Recon is here, it means this. And I think the teams that did their real work and, like, got the players to understand that were rewarded for it. And the teams that didn't do that work weren't rewarded. And if you just gave them a piece of paper that said that, like, this Recon equals maybe it's this idea, etc., like, it's just a bit shit. Okay, they switched default. A main default. Where's that Sage Slow going? It is just an A main Sage Slow, okay. With the Recon deep. They are on low buy, so they need Kayak and Chronicle to do something. Fnatic's defaulting on attack has looked a lot better. Like, it has looked better. They're still, like, foundationally, they're still doing similar things they used to do. But they've added a few little things here that I think I'm more happy with. And I think that the Sage suits them probably more, in a way. Like, they gain a bit more exec power that they were missing. And if they're able to do, like, stuff like this, it's just easier for them. Like, their exec micro is strong. Like, they just did another Yoru Flash, fucking, Oma Flash Yoru TP kind of thing. Like, it felt like with the other comp, they couldn't do one of the things they're good at, which is the execs, right? Whereas this comp, they can. What did RRQ do wrong here? Why have they got an open B site? Are they worried about a Visalt on B? I guess. Again, crazy guy needs some Teo drone lessons, I think. 1 minute? 50 seconds? We've not used a Teo drone again. This isn't acceptable Teo gameplay. In my opinion. You got the best drone in the game, and the enemy's able to default the map and exec before you use Teo drone. Using Teo drone for a retake is, yeah, I mean, that's not the play. Oh, maybe they thought Teo Sowers on D. Okay. Hey, right. Free site. I mean, yeah, it shouldn't be a free site anti-eco. What they should do, if they're really scared of this ult, is to play again the Yoru with the TP into B. And then if the Still Garden happens, he can just TP out if he wants to. How much percentage do you think the macro plan affects the outcome of a game versus key moments, clutches, micro mistakes? It's like 50-50. Or maybe like 40% macro. 35, 40. 30, am I going lower and lower? I'd say 35% macro. Maybe slightly higher. Yeah. 35%. 35%. Ultimately, it depends. If you're talking about equal skill, then it's different. Like, if you're talking about a team with more skill than the other team, then it's irrelevant. Macro game plan. Like, how much does strategy impact a game is the question. I think it's about 35%. Which is unfortunate for me, because I like to talk about it a lot. But in the reality at the end of the day is, if they shoot their gun back at the other team, 35% is a big number. 35% is a big number. In the context that you gotta remember that, like, most of these players, like, let's say, like, I know it's hard to look at this because they have fucking Kayak and Chronicle and Alpha, but a lot of the time that the players are going to be fairly similar in skill. So, like, the edge you can get is from that. You can influence that 35% a lot easier than you can influence anything else, and that's the reason we focus on it, right? Is that you can't randomly turn up and decide that you're going to shoot better that day, but you can turn up and know that your macro game plan is better, if that makes sense. No, I mean, the macro can't be more important, than otherwise the team with worse players would always win. Or, let's put it this way, every time I complain on the broadcast about a team playing a certain comp or playing poorly, that team would always lose, but they don't. Camera? Oh, sorry. I mean, yeah, PaperX are a pretty good example. PaperX's macro game plan isn't the most solid. Like, that's not their strength. Hello. Yeah, like PaperX a pretty good example. Like their macro game plan is like, it's not like the best. That's not their strength. And they won the last international event. But I don't think that, I wouldn't say it this way either. I don't think that it's, I think it's doing a disservice to PaperX to say that they don't, there's nothing in their macro game that's good, or that like all they do is shoot better. Like there's lots of things they're doing better than other teams. There's several aspects of their game that is world class, or best in the world, or greatest of all time. And there's parts of their macro game that is the best in the world. It's just that when you look at their foundational setup, sometimes they're not at the S++ tier. There are things they understand about the macro game that are underrated, but it's from intuition rather than rational thought. Their understanding of when to do certain things on the map is better than any other team in the world. It might not always be the correct decision, but it's always the right timing, or right instinct, or right intuition. And that's why I like when I work with them, I feel like it's a good match. Like, I think that it's really fun to work with them, because the things I like to focus on, it's like I get to just say things that I like to say, and it's like very it's more impactful for that team because it's part of the game that they don't really like focus on as much as other parts of their game, if that makes sense. Their push for aggression on defense is the best in the world. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was trying to say without really explicitly saying. Their understanding of when to be aggressive on defense isn't stupid. It's very smart. Like, I think the picture painted of them is not respectable sometimes, when what they're doing sometimes is smarter than any other team in the world, and they are the best team of all time at knowing when to push through on defense. The irony being that like a team like G2 and Fnatic are the kind of teams I rate very highly. they have to think about those things a lot and macro them out and think about them and discuss them, whereas Paper X is just instinctive. Hey Trubun, do you VOD review their scrims or how do you help them? Sorry, I have not watched this round, but we'll pretend I did. I watched back their scrims. I give them notes. I basically give Alex notes and say like, I just basically give Alex notes. Do you actually feel listened to at Paper X? Yeah, like I'll be honest, like I was confused at Toronto a little bit at times, like whether like what was being implemented or not. But I could see it in the practice. Like I could see when things are being implemented. I was like, okay, like I don't know how they implement, but they do it. So like that's cool. And now this time around is like kind of cool to see. Like I've seen the implementation more this time in a way. It's kind of cool. So yeah, they yeah. Like the Pro A short art thing. I don't know what you mean, but their Pro is one of the few moments in which like I couldn't get through some they have problems in their Pro defense that I was able to help with some of it, but some of it, like the A side of the map, they don't really understand that well sometimes. It doesn't suit them. The way that I think you got to play A side on Pro, it sometimes doesn't suit the way they want to play. What footage should coaches get access in tournaments? It's just the same as broadcast, but you hear comms pretty much. You don't get POV of players. You can get their cameras and stuff though. I'm sorry, I'm not really paying attention too much. I was answering too many questions. It was anti-eco though, so who cares? So Fnatic just switched from a B default to an A default. This is one aspect of like, again, this is one aspect of device and generally playing with a lack of double initiator that is a problem. Is like obviously Killjoy, turret, camera for Cypher. Vice doesn't have access to the same level of mid passive info. And then you don't have a second initiator to like, you know, knife here or, you know, see what's going on. So like the middle pushes on the map are something that are a gap that can be exploited. And what that means is you have to be extremely disciplined on your attack side. And if you're not, you die to an operator. I don't think that the RRQ comp was supposed to Counter-Strike Alpha, no. They played this comp anyway. But they probably hoped that Fnatic would stay on Chamber. Is that what Liquid exploited? No. When Liquid played Fnatic, Liquid exploited B main, which meant they should have been able to rotate 3A because they had a lot of B main control. But the reality of what happened in the Liquid game is they controlled B main and stayed in a 2-1-2, and Fnatic would go A, and the A players just held really well. It had nothing to do actually macro. There was very little macro that impacted the way that Team Liquid won against Fnatic. I think a lot of people said that, oh, Team Liquid did this thing. Like, even I was trying to lean into it a little bit to explain it, but like, ultimately what ended up happening is that the players on A played off-site and spammed through and killed them every time they went A. And then they had good retakes on A. The actual macro anti-strat stuff wasn't really actually that impactful. Like, they did control B main really well, but they didn't do anything from it. Again, Team Liquid should have rotated 3 towards this side of the map, but they didn't. They just played off-site with 2 and just killed them and won. Like it was a little bit unlucky in some respects that Fnatic actually like got beat in that way. I like the chamber more, but it's harder to play.
Of course, he's got teammates covering deep into mid, so he doesn't have to worry about his left side. He's covering this cross, and eventually that fight is going to be forced out. Crashies, but it's more importantly Alfier with the spike. He's got 2. Crashies, but it's more importantly Alfier with the spike.
How did Alpha kill 2 people? What? Is that accidental? I know this is hard to say in the moment, but if Alpha wooed this way, does this res actually work? I know it's so like he'd look more stupid if he tried to do that and like it didn't work. But I do wonder if that would have worked. Like treat it like a icebox diffuse wall. Surely Bosa should do that ult once he gets the site, right? He doesn't need to do it before then. Ooh. My Phantom doesn't work like this. Well, that was... It didn't look as quick on Alpha screen, but it is nice. Alpha even traded off the ult pretty well, it's just he didn't hit the shot. Fnatic XX with Eurofield just joined. I mean, this entire game has been beautiful Euro XX. It's like the worst example, I think, is this game. Oh, it's Bosa's mom. Susan.
Join me, Susan and Gary. First of all,
Susan and Gary.
And the first question I wanted to ask you, Gary, is that we know that you has been, handling the IGL captain responsibilities for a long while now. So do you feel like he always had that extroverted, fiber in him?
Well, it's difficult to say.
Lou's asking, yeah, poor Lou. She's asking like if his parents like gave him like the extrovert gene, but I know his parents and they're like that's the most British people ever. Like they're not like his dad is just like why is this? I mean, he's a bit more like me, like he's not like a extrovert, so.
Obviously, he just took over the gaming and went away playing games in London. So yeah, I think that's where he wanted to go.
Yeah, he was enjoying himself since the very beginning indeed. Donc on le sait, Boster c'est l'IGL, le capitaine, il a des responsabilités depuis le début. Est-ce qu'il a toujours été comme ça, un peu extraverti depuis le début?
I don't think you can hear her question, to be honest with you.
Il avait ça envie depuis le début. And my question now, Susan, is for you because your son is not only a captain, he's also a content demon, especially
a content demon. Oh.
So what do we think about his dancing skills? Where did he get them from, actually? Is it from you?
He's always loved dancing. He belong to a local musical theatre school, and his favourite was the dancing, ballet, anything. And of course now the K-pop. He loved everything, any dance.
Any dance he can do indeed. K-pop ballet, that's insane. Donc on parle aussi des skills de danse de Boster, évidemment. Il est trop fort, il peut faire de la capote, etc. D'où est-ce qu'il tire ça? Et bien il est à l'école, d'une école de théâtre, il adorait la danse, donc forcément il allait pour la capote, le ballet, il sait tout faire. And let's see now if Natty can take the win.
Oh, yeah.
They must look up on the big screen and go, yep, that's always tough for the community. So good. Different. Like can now on the entry as he was on the defense because it is much harder.
It's so funny. Like RRQ did the RRQ did this pistol against Fnatic, and now Fnatic are doing it against RRQ, and RRQ are just like wide swing in the middle and just dying to it.
They're giving them a taste of their own medicine. It's the stack up on mid 3 instead of RRQ's 4. But they have found 2 picks.
Let's see how the R on defense looks like already. It seems like Fnatic have no interest in they're pretty much doing what they were doing before to some degree. And I think this style, it probably will work better with the Sage. Like, Sage can naturally play a passive A game, the Vice can play B. Before, I don't think they integrated this chamber like as well as what they could have on defense. And so by switching to the Sage, they ironically probably their game plan before probably worked better for the Sage, if that makes sense. So they probably are going to play a better defense with the Sage.
They have found 2 picks and left Xpharaoh down to 5, a much more successful start. And one of the things I wanted to highlight, Tom, is the man we're on board with right now.
I want you to know there was a specified person in production who had to go through and find manually every clip posted tagged twerk or ass.
But for now, certainly a lot more to be desired. And with
Did you watch the MIBR game? No.
That's both pistols under their belt, which ultimately, in a 7-5 half, the pistol was what made the difference.
Yeah. I think it'd be a bit more damning. What?
All right.
Okay, that's going to help them out a little bit. A full blind shot for one of their players. Monyet's found another. You mentioned him, and he's come alive.
It's interesting to think about, actually. Me and Boaster... I would describe both me and Boaster as fairly different from our parents. I think I'm less different. But it's kind of funny. Like, when you interview people, like, people's parents, you're gonna presume there is some kind of thread through about, like, you know. But, like, with Boaster, like, his extroversion has nothing to do with his parents, I don't think. I think he's got a family in which, like, encourages him to be able to be himself and stuff, but, like, it's not like he's got, like, extroverted family that, like, he's taken that from, if that makes sense. Susan and Gary, I mean, it's not exactly the most uncommon British names.
Sold on the other side with the salvos. Of course, you can see the direction that they fly from. So
Yeah, why is there flirting going on? No flirting here. It's disgusting. A triple headshot. I did see this on Twitter, to be fair. I accept them letting him get the last kill, because getting Visor is important. If that was like Boaster and they were like making him get the last kill, I'd be annoyed.
This is where we need to see a change for RRQ. Wasn't spotted in the last round, so it's gonna go.
I mean, they're playing against a Cypher. Why Cypher? Where's the camera? Oh, they just insta broke it. Okay. RRQ are doing the same default as everyone else, despite the fact they got double drone. It's kind of interesting. They have double drone, but both their drone agents are on the same part of the map.
Likely that he may not find anything again. Xpharaoh.
Couldn't you frame this like the other way around with RRQ? Like, I'm being a bit devil's advocate here. If they're a team that leans so heavy into anti-strat, surely then they gotta be criticized for some of the fundamentals of their game. Like here, like playing 2 drone agents in the same position on the map does not feel correct to me. Like, it could be a game plan thing, but it's not. I don't quite get it. What did they do? I mean, they used the salvo to clear what they thought was gonna be a Vice Store. Okay. I do like the pressure on B main they're applying, because they know the Vice is gonna be here. Like, to break the Vice util this early is good. To have two droners on the same part of the map feels slightly odd to me, though. I actually think of, I have an image of Bosa when I think of British man in their 20s. Bosa doesn't look like the average British man. Nice idea.
I don't mind the idea, but the additional jump made it difficult. Chronicle on the other side, they're going to have at least a little bit of worries about that Guardian after the last round. Alpha yet, he's being watched. But he goes jumping on top of the box.
Okay. I do like RRQ's, I think as a game plan, to go and get rid of this Vice util a lot of the rounds is going to be a good idea. But now they aren't doing that. Interesting here, we see Vice Flash on the Arch. We haven't seen Fnatic do this before. I think what they were going to do is wait for salvo, wait for any noise. If there's a smoke, just go in it, and then like flash recon smoke bang or something, probably.
Pushing Fnatic back, limiting how much info, how much control they have to play with.
Already. Having to bait up.
Ooh.
Ball being used over into A main.
TMV looks more British, I think, than Boaster does.
Again, going walkabout. The reveal will let him know that there's a couple of players to his right, but that's not who he's looking for. He's expecting some form of reaction. As though we haven't really
Like Boaster could be like a Scandi or something, or German. I don't know.
But now with 40 seconds left on the clock,
That's not a stray.
bear in mind that the Vice wall has also been moved into middle, so they have a lot of information on that part of the map. The push though, not.
I think I look probably more British.
Already put through on A, alarm bells ringing. Fnatic know the hits coming in with that paranoia having landed. Kayak doesn't find much. A quieter performance continues. We look for another hero on this site. Alfier grabs some info but swings into heavy traffic. Boaster.
What are Fnatic doing to be shit?
Expecting some form of reaction. As though we haven't really seen RRQ caught by any. Already having to bait out some of that early utility. Ball being used over into A main. Maybe a big part of the game for RRQ with how much is online. Kayak again going walkabout. The reveal will let him know that there's a couple of players to his right, but that's not who he's looking for. He's expecting some form of reaction. As though we haven't really seen RRQ caught by any of this. Each time they've been patient.
This is a critical moment in the round. Boaster wasted that smoke, I think.
But now with 40 seconds left on the clock, bear in mind that the Vice wall.
They're making the correct read.
So they have a lot of information.
They're slightly behind tempo, but not by much.
The drone already put through on A, alarm bells ringing. Fnatic know the hits coming
I like that.
with that paranoia having
Okay, they got unlucky. They did try.
already put through on A, alarm bells ringing. Fnatic know the hits coming in with
Okay.
that paranoia having landed.
They got a bit unlucky.
A quieter performance continues. We look for another hero on this site. Albion grabs some info but swings into heavy traffic. Boaster isolated.
There was something that I'm gonna, yeah. There's something, yeah.
But now they can go for this. And with Crazy Guy taking a fight alone, he's given them a real chance. X-Pharaoh.
They win this, I remember. This is the only round I watched. Chronicle dissects Pharaoh, and then Crashes wins a 1v2.
Burst them out into this site.
I remember this.
Be blinded up. It's going down below. Oh, it's going up top. Okay.
I think this flash. Oh, okay. That's kind of cool.
With the reveal, they've seen one, they've seen the other, but Xfero lands the shot, and it's all on
Farah needs to hide,
the drop down should be dead.
but he peeks.
Double swing.
Zara loses in the round here.
Crashy's running out of time, but he'll
Yeah.
catch, but yet, as the spike ticks away,
Like, what was the timing on this?
but I think they've
0.63. If Sarah just like waits another second behind the box, he just wins. Like,
double digits on the board, and you have to look at RRQ.
That gets the timing perfect on the swing, but I think maybe just a little bit of miscommunication.
shocked out's nice.
This shock dart was huge because, as you said, this was going into a 2 versus.
See, this is one of those moments where it's like, as a broadcast person, like you're supposed to be really nice to Crashies here, but like, and it is a nice clutch. He plays the hand he's dealt really well, but this is a blunder. Like, this is a blunder. Like, in terms of like good versus bad, like Crashies has played like Crashies has played this like 7 out of 10, like well, but Sarah, like this guy's played it like a 1 out of 10 in terms of like, you know what I mean? Like, this is more important than this. If that makes sense. Like, I don't know. How much important is its default B main if you play against Vice with the wall on B, for example? I think it makes sense. Like, I've not really thought about it too much, but I think it makes sense, right? I want you to listen to this reply. If you know that Chronicle is going to be sat on B main the entire game with this setup, like, you might as well try and break it a little bit, you know what I mean? If Omen full hides, they win. I think that's hindsight, though. This guy, he can't full hide. It's really hard to know that timing. This guy knows he can full hide. I'm interested to see how they play the Sage against an A main default. There's an argument that if they keep A main defaulting, they could just switch the agents around. And just have Vice A, maybe? Maybe? I don't think it matters either way that much, to be fair. Actually, I think I prefer the Sage A still. I don't think... I don't know how I feel about them walling A main against an A main default.
At 9-7, the scoreline closing in, the walls closing on Fnatic. It's looking like a sprint to the finish line for the defense.
One good thing is that RRQ have a lot of potential to pad the gap with ults. Hunter's Fury one away.
Chronicle's doing a good job though. Like, again, Chron has this line. They know it's A. Like, RRQ... For a team with 2 drones, I do still think that they're making mistakes. Like, they have 2 drones to take a lot of map control. And every single round, it feels like something's missing on the map for them.
Put it this way, RRQ put a lot more pressure on themselves for this round. What could have been their redemption arc. At 9-7, the scoreline closing in, the walls closing on Fnatic. It's looking like a sprint to the finish line.
The problem is, Bacon, there's 2 walls. So it's like, they kind of need... But they have 2 drones, so it's like... I feel like they could be doing more interesting stuff with the drones. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
The drones crossing path, but not really finding out too much. And the pistol shots will be heard again. It's just trying to bait that wall being broken. They now look to try and move back to the other side of the map, but this definitely
30 seconds. He gets 2, don't he?
They'll catch the first. And actually, that's one definitely being broken. They now look to try and move back to the other side of the map, but this definitely has its risks about it. But haven't moved. That wall being broken.
That's the problem, like, their comp a little bit. Like, they need info back, but they can't get info back. They did drone middle on an okay timing. It's harder for Fnatic to get information with their comp. And if they're using the wall this early and get default out, then their comp becomes a bit static. They're making a mistake here, I think. I think Kron should, at 30 seconds, play here with Still Garden ready. And then Crashy should play here, just watching main. If they go through for a BXX, he Still Gardens. They've won the round. If they go A, they're running into 3. Or they could just peel off and just play 3 towards B, play retake A with this ult. I think playing B main in this position is a mistake, and they get punished for it. They're not considering ult economy stuff. Although on the flip side, I guess there are... No, you could do that.
Another control being taken. Fnatic can't afford to fight this. Their economy was already on the brink after that last round.
Can you check your DM here on Twitch?
I'm looking at that A side take that RRQ were posturing for at the very start of the
Do you have any idea why Fnatic changed this chamber to a Sage? Because they were losing with chamber.
A little bit more ready for that. But if the play goes even if it goes a little bit better for RRQ, the retake with the steel guard change be able to this as well. Boaster's given the rifle over.
Now they switched the Vice and the Sage. I presume this is more anti... This could be Sage... Vice ult start maybe? They're playing offsite A. Gonna play for the Still Garden retake on A, it looks like. And they're allowed to do that. Like, it's kind of interesting to use Still Garden in like a force buy situation is probably the correct decision, right? Like, you're able to kind of economy break the other team in a way.
Very early use of the drone as well from Crazy Guy. They're looking to really claim this space towards middle, but Fnatic are responding. They've started to push down through B main, take some deep control of their own. It's not... Oh, it is being watched actually. It's Crazy Guy just posted on the angle alongside the trip.
It's the amount of delay that they currently have.
So they can fight short if they want to, but they won't.
The thorns have been placed all the way along. Chronicle for a lot of the rounds has been on this B side, so they'll now...
Sage will left B. If you're min-maxing here, I think you want the Sage wall this way. Just because the team is probably going to walk all the way up here. And then be like, shit, there's a wall here and they have to break it. And then you know as soon as this wall starts breaking, they are B. But I do like the wall here because the Euro could be behind it. I don't mind. I don't mind either wall. The earlier trigger is probably better. I think this wall's probably better. What they're doing. I like this now. The wall deep B main, they can focus towards middle. The Yori is going to catch everything here though. But nice Sage slow from Alpha. Still Garden used. But it's kind of an awkward Still Garden because we're like, you see the amount of like, we're Sage slowing, we're Paranoia. We can't get to these players who don't have guns anymore. So like, it's an awkward like combo. All is jumpable if you do that. I mean, I guess you'd do it like slightly back here, right? So you can't, it's not jumpable. Would you coach NA next year if you had the opportunity? No. I only like to coach for good regions, you know.
And it's all just to deny that early shock dart that's being put through, and of course, Fnatic for now have no way to know that info is online late round. It's given our...
What's the difference between a coach and an analyst? I mean, okay, sidetrack. Head coach, assistant coach, analyst. These two can be interchangeably used wording-wise. Generally speaking, the analyst is the third coach who sometimes knows data and more like preparation stuff, like dirty work. Like they're more like they're essentially, if you're gonna be a coach, you don't want to be the analyst. JT's here, but you don't want to be the analyst. Basically, you want to get one of these ones. But yeah. But they can be used kind of interchangeably. Like sometimes people say analyst to mean like they're just second person. But yeah. I don't think I mean the other way to say analyst means, yeah, like desk. So like you're an analyst who's on the desk. Like I'm now professionally an analyst, I guess. Yeah. Which just means that I sit on the desk and say things. It doesn't really mean anything. I think, unfortunately, I think some of the things that an analyst does for Valorant teams, we don't do enough of as analysts on the desk, i.e. the game focusedness of the coaching role doesn't come across in desk as much as I'd hope, but we'll get there. Desk should be just casters. Are you trying to get rid of me? Because are you trying to get rid of me, Kakuka? Me and Kakuka just getting fired. Why you choose helping Paper X instead of other teams? Surely you've had other offers. I've had other offers, but Paper X was the first team to ask me for help in a time capacity that was suitable for me. I.e., most teams don't want someone to help them. They want someone to be there like 24/7. Most coaches work 24/7. I can't work 24/7. PaperX wanted to use me as like someone to consult with, you know. Historically, PaperX haven't really had much support on the coaching side. And so like they're fine not having someone who's just gonna be working 24/7. Like they just wanted some consulting, some support, you know. Like in Fnatic we kind of did that with Anders, I guess, is basically the way I see it, and they did that I think with Comet for a couple events, like. But because the way that Fnatic sees that third person working, they're probably not compensated in the ways that I am, because I'm like the second person, you know? And plus, like, I have a reputation and brand that allows me to, you know, probably charge higher than what, you know.
Definitely not ideal, but again, this is just posturing. They now head back towards Kayak. Now he's been having a rough game. They could definitely use him helping them out, and with the Hunter's Fury in
Wait, one sec, sorry. Sorry. What? Wait, we're charging? Yeah, I don't work for PaperX for free. I initially said to Alex, I was like, if you need free help, like I can give a little bit, like I can give a tiny bit, like that would be kind of fun, but yeah, it's not, bro. The Sage Rules, RRQ are doing a good job of getting rid of the Sage Rules. I give them that. The only problem is they're running up short as a pack against a solo ult.
Not taking too many risks. They're now going to go back to the exact position that they sort of baited out before, the slows. Will delay them at least a little bit, and there are quite a few players here for Fnatic.
Like, in terms of control on the map, it's getting low on time, but they have B mains, they can go B split, right? That's what they're gonna do, right? On the flip side, if I'm trying to make you guys realize, if this was RRQ on defense right now, and they had droned A main, they would know that it was not an A split, and probably not an A. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of drone timings we'd need, is like drone timings on a way that we can figure out what kind of exec is coming on A, or if there's nobody there, you know it's probably not an A. And if it is an A, they're 5 stacking up short, and there's very easy counters to that. Like again, like you could just keep a person in A main, or you could just focus short down. You know.
But again, this is just posturing. They now head back towards Kayak. Now he's been having a rough game. They could definitely use him helping them.
But they are taking
combination. That creates a distraction. That's the spike on the deck. 15 seconds left. This one's looking a little
ages.
bit. They need to get a move on. And Alpha and Chronicle at the back of this site. All they need to do is hold the line at least a few seconds. And in fact,
yeah, they took too long. You can't take this long against a Sage and a Vice, though. Is basically the summary.
I think you're crazy. I also want to say as well, I want to give credit to Crashies. I think the timing of that Hunter's Fury, I think without it, they probably clear Kayak much quicker, and then maybe you have an extra 15 seconds on the clock to get into the site rather than 8.
Yeah, which also comes back to they heard the steps rotating away. Kayak needs to get out of there, and he does quite quickly.
The Arrow isn't that impactful here. It's funny that like Fnatic got away with buying light shields on everyone, despite. Yeah, I mean, Vice, Sage, and an Operator. Like, without the Operator being available, you could just run around the map and probably play Break the Walls. Whereas when the Op comes out, you're now like, oh, shit, we've got to avoid an Operator, and we've got to try and deal with 2 walls on the map. I'd have to actually think about it to actually figure out how you should play against it. Because at the moment, like, off the top of my head, I don't know exactly how I'd want to play against it.
Economy on the brink. This could be a chance for RRQ to equalize, or it could be the end of the map. Kayak again, not quite connecting, gotta go forward. Position being created.
Okay, nice exec.
And the openers for RRQ are fantastic. Nobody really here to try and deny them anymore.
I mean, playing kind of like that is not the worst idea. Like bursting more. Like ultimately, the wall is good on A, but it's not enough to be like so confident you could just stack B super hard. Like they're kind of stacked though. They're kind of stacked. I guess that tail ult was the kind of be it or end all, to be fair. So maybe I'm wrong. How did Fnatic know they were finishing B with the info they had? Sorry. I don't. Sorry. That's a good question. How did Fnatic know they're finishing B with the info they had? The answer is they didn't. They didn't. That's why they have 3A right now. Let's see. Now it feels like they know. Because there's nothing's happened here. And nothing's happened here. I think it's just that. Like, sometimes it's just a simple case of, like, why is there no noise or util being used? Like, now they probably feel like it's not. Yeah, it's just that. Like, why is there a smoke here? Why are they not trying to brute force through very well? It's just, yeah. That's what most of Valorant is, by the way, in terms of rotations. Like, there's the kind of rotations where I like, where it's like info rotations, where like you've actually done something on the map to like drone out and kind of figure it out. But most rotations in this game are simply like a read like this, where it's like, well, it doesn't feel like they're coming A. Like, and I think it's unfortunate that most of Valorant ends up being like that, especially regionally. It's just like, oh, it doesn't feel like an A, let's rotate. It's a decent read, but like the best teams in the world are the ones that can inform these rotations using their utility more. Fnatic's comp doesn't have the best ways to make those reads because they don't have info, but they have passive info, right? So like they'll have like walls and stuff to like kind of know. But yeah, it's long story short, it's like teams make it really obvious sometimes where they're at finishing just by the ways they fake or like don't commit. I like your hair. Thank you very much. I don't know what my hair looks right now, but usually it's a mess, so I don't know if you're taking the piss. Do you think lack of mid info can bite them in the ass? Lack of mid info. How many teams in the world have mid info on defense?
Maybe gives them a little bit of extra space. The problem though is Crashy's already gone down in response, and the salvo will deny any aggression.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about pistols for most players. And man, for the defense of Cushy. Let this round up full for most players.
Sorry. I thought it was just an eco, but it's not.
Maybe gives them a little bit of extra space. The problem though is Crashy's already gone down in response.
Because Fnatic look like they're gonna win.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about pistols for most players. Kayak's in a good spot. Monyet crosses over, but he's now seeing.
Oh, Monyet was whiffing this game.
An outlaw and a rifle picked up an advantage in manpower. A res online for Alpha. An ult for him.
I mean, Kayak was mid a lot in this game, if you mean that. But that's, I don't know. Will I do MIBR versus BLG VOD review? If I think I'm gonna leave it. I think I'm just gonna watch Fnatic and then I'm gonna leave it. In the future, I could come back and watch VODs that anyone thinks is worth watching. I don't particularly want to do MIBR BLG. It didn't. It was a nice round by Cushy. I didn't feel particularly I don't feel particularly compelled to watch a team win 13-2 on Haven.
On the RRQ side of things, is going to be too worried about that one. A solid hold to end.
Do you think Killjoy is viable in this map in this meta? Yes. I think Killjoy is viable. I don't think she's great.
The board overtaking Jemkim. But this is where Fnatic now have themselves a buy. The last round was a lot of missing pieces, but a big opportunity.
I don't know if I prefer her to Cypher or not. I think I might prefer her to Cypher, potentially. But I don't like... I just like Vice. Oh, that's nice by Kron.
Able to trade things back, removing this extra smokes in the late round. That's going to be quite the blow. It looks like Fnatic.
What's the flash here?
They've got 3 players in heaven, but a flash primed and ready.
Show me the flash.
They're thinking about getting aggressive as the Rose Garden goes through. In comes Kayak. He's found one. A wall bang onto Crazy Guy, but Jemkin, he's keeping this, well, at least under control for a moment, even with the pistol in play. Late round for next Pharaoh's going.
That comment from Alpha is one of the funniest things I've ever heard, by the way. Because Xpharaoh, I don't know if you get it, but like Xpharaoh is just like baiting. It takes too long that he's irrelevant, right? And so he's basically saying that like you're like the police who just like turn up to the scene fucking 10 years after they need it and they're useless. I mean, if I was Alpha, I think that I would be trying to taunt Monyet too, I think. I'm not that kind of person, but like it's the correct thing to do if you want to win, I think. It's because they're like the joke is this happened, something happened and it's over, and then the police come in late and do nothing. Hey, look. They kill this guy, and then he just lets the defuse happen, and nothing happens. Like, he's useless. And he's late. Useless and late is basically what he's saying.
For RRQ to hit an OT. Manageable with the economy that they've got to play with.
Like, considering they've lost both pistols in this game, it's been a fight back every single time. Hayek is gonna get
Some of the sharpest satire I've ever heard coming from, of all people, Alpha, yeah.
It is, and what Jemkin has been winning that fight time and time again. His sight hold, though, has been devastating. They're walking into Chronicle's domain, and thus far this game he's been dominant.
Flash Recon?
Chronicle has been the difference maker. Crashies has been pretty reliable.
Oh, the Omen ult gets cancelled via the tail server. That's kind of cool.
Comes to a slow for RRQ. The spike retrieved. They haven't set their sights on it just yet. They'll run through the
Wait, Alpha and Boaster win this? Where's that fucking cheeky wall, by the way?
slow for RRQ. The spike retrieved. They haven't set their sights on it just yet. They'll run through the smoke. Successful for Xfero. With Chronicle already gone. Boaster and
Surely it's better to just wall near the barrel if you're gonna do that.
going for this. And, oh, well,
What's Boaster doing?
decision, no debate. Jemkin's down, and it's Xfero and Munyet against Boaster and Alpha.
Really? This is how they win?
To the 2 versus 2. Maybe expectations, there'll be somebody within this smoke already. Alpha, you're not really willing to risk it, but eventually jumps through, but doesn't realize maybe there's somebody on the other side. Well, now, and even gonna trade it out.
Yeah, that's how they win. Okay, so if I'm gonna be really critical of Fnatic, didn't they win both pistols? They won both pistols and won 13-10. Won a 2v1. I mean, Sphero won a 2v1, but they won that round a 4v2 and a 2v1. And RRQ didn't look that amazing. Kayak didn't have the best of games, though. Kayak not having the best of games is maybe a bit of a difference maker here, but... I think the way I just see Sentinels in general is Vice, like Killjoy and Cypher are just power level below Vice, to be honest with you. But in terms of like ease of use and game planning and stuff, like if I was working with like, depending who you're working with, like this can be fine. It's just that like I think that if you're really trying to win like a trophy, I think that the Vice is going to be the more consistent approach. What do you really think about Kayak? What do I really think about Kayak? Or what does that mean? You think that I'm lying about Kayak? Kayak is a great player who recently has not been playing as well as what he has done this year, but it's been a couple of games. That's what I really think about Kayak. Map 2, right? So Fnatic are playing... The way I kind of see their comp is like, it allows them to do things that they like to do. Like, Breach in general, I'm not the biggest fan of, but I'm low-key, like, okay with it on this map, I think. I think that it allows them to go for execs that are going to be overwhelming and place the strengths of Boasters, like, micro exec kind of strategy stuff. And then their retakes are going to be pretty nasty, or hopefully thought through. We can see that there's a lot of diffusers happening. This is one element, though, that is a bit concerning, is like, if they're having to play for retakes all the time, that's what they were struggling with the old Abyss, where it's like, we weren't particularly good at just like holding a site ever. We ended up being in retakes all the time. And I think that that's something to look out for. By playing Astra, it kind of means that they kind of lose the kind of exec power. So playing the Breach is probably okay. I like the Waylay. I think the Waylay pairs, like it's kind of like a specific comp pairing with this stuff. Do I think that they'll be the best Abyss team in the world with this? Maybe not. but like they'll be good. They should be good. You'd go for Jet here. I think Waylay's just better than Jet. I think Waylay is way better than Jet. And I think that there's things that people don't realize you could do with Waylay yet. In terms of like you can just play like a Jet. Especially on defense. So yeah, I quite like the Waylay.
I'm curious to see Gem.
What do you feel about solo Waylay? I mean, it's solo Waylay in a composition that is designed to hard exec. It's going to be fine. There's enough util here on Abyss for the Waylay to feel comfortable. Solo Waylay, when you don't have enough util to exec, is kind of maybe pointless. You'd rather just play Yoru and the Waylay so that you're kind of like pairing it up a little bit more.
And if he has the same struggles that we've seen before for Team Liquid when it came to that attack
If there was a match between old Fnatic and new Fnatic, who would win?
in terms of taking that space and then doing something with it.
You'd presume in general that the skill probably has been increasing a little bit. There's still lots of problems in the way people play, and there's still some regression, I think. But you would hope that this Fnatic would beat an old Fnatic. You'd hope, just because of the passage of time. But
And actually running the comp in the past, Althea was actually running this Jet. So it was like you had that double duelist that I think worked wonderfully for Fnatic. And that's one of the benefits of having the other util, but
okay, focusing on Fnatic. So immediately retakes on both sides, pushing middle.
I don't know.
I don't really
the double duelist.
recon. Basically, they want to push middle and flank either side. Is basically what they're doing right now.
Fnatic with that Waylay in play. We'll see what ideas they have, at least for now. Kayak going walkabout.
Camera here can be popped in retake, which is nice. The recon deep here early was quite nice, but it got shot by one person, so they're not sure what's going on right now.
Fnatic starting out confidently. They're going to be greeted by Xfero, who's been there to punish them a couple of times on the previous.
Nice breach done.
Doesn't actually catch him. Gem can define it.
I love that too. How did Boaster just place that?
Greeted by Xfero, who's been there to punish them a couple of times on the
Yeah, just instantly places it and stuns. This is the kind of shit that like, it's just solid. Solid Astra player. Does anyone else think Crash has really stepped up his game since joining Fnatic compared to his time and energy? I think this is the thing. It's really something I think about a lot is like the way that I would scout for players is based on their performance in their team, and I can't know if their team environment's good or bad. So like I would just be like, well, this player farms, therefore he's good. But the problem is that if you were like really resource drained, and you couldn't just do that, say like it was like too competitive to get those kind of players. We're like, well, this player's obviously good, I'm just gonna get him. And you had to like find players from elsewhere. It's almost like you want to look at teams with bad team environments with players who have potential to be good, if that makes sense. Like I think that Energy probably didn't have the best environment for Crashes to succeed in. And taking him and putting him into a better environment like Fnatic allows him to succeed, if that makes sense. Cryo 100 Thieves. I mean, that's Cryo is more obviously good, if that makes sense. Cryo is too obviously good. Crashes is one of those players where like I was unsure whether he was like how good he could be. I wasn't sure if he could do what he's doing right now. If that makes sense. I'm trying to think like what are good examples of this? I don't know. There's basically players who like I know statistically or I know from scouting that like they're not playing very well, but then they join a tier 1 team or they join a team with a better environment, and their stocks go up. Like they're able to perform. Camo is a good example. Is Camo a good example? I don't think Trex is a good example. I don't think Pyro is a good example. Kiko might be a good example. I don't think Camo's a good example because why was he playing really bad before? Oh, Camo was just like Camo to me was above average duelist who now is an above average duelist. I don't think he's like a superstar. I don't think it's like he's. My opinions on Camo as a player hasn't changed. My opinions on Kiko as a player has changed, and I do think that is interesting. Where it's like not even going to a different team, but the team environment changing itself has helped Kiko. I think so. Like their team environment must be something about it is better for him. I don't think Trex is a good example because I know Trex is world class. I'm talking about players who you're not sure. Baby Bay is the best example. Yeah, Baby Bay is the best example I can possibly think of. A player who makes a player who you'd expect to not even be able to play in VCT, literally playing as one of the best players in America's League. Baby Bay is the best example. Because it's almost like it's not even at that point, it's almost like it almost negates anything I think about scouting. Whereas like how much of it is just the environment allowing players to play well rather than you know. Like I think about this in terms of like some of the scouting we did with like I think Brave is a good example. Like Brave Af is like a player that played for Fnatic. I don't think that in a different environment he would have shined, but with Fnatic I think he played really well. And I think a lot of that was because, you know, he's a good player, but I think that we were able to like get the best out of players, you know what I mean?
Holding the angle, but doesn't manage to land. Pistol definitely not.
I think yeah, G2 is a good system, a good environment.
Seemingly the difference maker in terms of the rounds in the last map.
It's not to discredit anything though, like I think Baby Bay himself is probably a good kind of person to have go into that kind of environment. If that makes sense. Like he's not stupid enough to put loads of pressure on himself, probably.
I don't know what information they had that this was seemingly the difference maker in terms of the rounds.
Bosa re-pushes middle. Smart play from Boaster, but now confusion's happened and they've gone A thinking they fucked up. They heard something wrong.
It does mean they know he's there. Crashy's able to clear already. Potential, but it's just going to be the firefights for Crazy.
Oh.
Is worked out. One found already.
Okay.
In the Smoker's Chronicle, he's trying to continue from before, and immediately it's going to land himself another shot.
He knows he doesn't have it.
He does not. It was incredibly close for another Chronicle in the round.
0.31 of a second stands between them and success, and this, as you said, was the difference maker. When you look back on the previous map, they won. Fnatic won by 3 rounds.
But with the Waylay versus Jet, Sitmark Waylay makes a lot of space that others capitalize or drags you towards herself to allow her to refab to go in and send it hold space. For Jet. I don't. Jet has more self. Bad Waylay teams and bad Waylay players make Waylay seem worse on attack than she is. You do need to be more considerate. Isn't it kind of pointless to do the jump after plant though? I guess it's still fine. Do you think Giant X can beat Paper X? Yes, Giant X are the favorites of that game. I don't think there's any chance Paper X have. So something about the Waylay, like I said, playing like the Jet, is that like Kayak can play these positions here and then just like dash out pretty comfortably. So you can see, you'll see Waylays sometimes playing here, I think, if they...
Kayak with the immediate punish, he gets out.
He fucked up here though. He pressed refract by accident. He definitely doesn't mean to press his refract there. There's not a chance he's refracting back into that side of the map. On the flip side, what do we see here? So Recon A main. So because RRQ are sending it straight B, I wonder if this Recon's going to get loads of value later on. We're going to see them rotate through this way a little bit. I want to see, do they actually go for anything interesting? What I would be doing here is getting the Cypher down here, breaking that trip at least, and then just going for a retake on this side. But they don't. I think this is a mistake. I think Alpha should have pressured flank. Given that they droned out middle. Especially as RRQ are getting away with open plants now. Like later on, if they're getting away with these open plants, I think Alpha really has to pressure flank.
A bit of a gamble with this many players there, but it sets them up nicely into the post plant. All 5 players from Fnatic and still a decent amount of utility. Recon already being sent out to try and clear some of that backline, but in fact it's a much deeper post plant. The spams is the aim of the game. A 1-for-1 trade, very much they locked it on last time. It was the time, it was the clock that went against Fnatic. Already you see the fragment into position. At time starting to tick down once again, and they're only just getting onto it. The shock dart is going to go through, but it's missed. I don't think it's quite as close this time around. They will be able to get it.
Very close.
Inch to the right, and that's a completely different game. Yeah, that's unfortunate for RRQ, but they make that one crazy competitive.
Does he just miss the dash? If he hits that dash, he's fine, right?
Crazy competitive.
No, he actually... Oh, something's wrong there, obviously.
Pushing into the site in a 5v4. Numbers have been just not quite that aggressively. Now, 2-1. But the damage done in that previous. It's eaten away at a few of the credits. Done in that previous. It's eaten away at a few of the credits.
I don't really understand what Kayak's doing, to be honest with you.
Full buy for RRQ though, nonetheless.
Why is he refracting? I don't understand.
It's done in that previous. It's eaten away at a few of the credits.
Surely you stay. I don't know. It feels weird. I don't know what's going on.
Full buy for RRQ though, nonetheless.
Window timing. He's a duelist. One of the most confident duelists in the world. And he's playing like I would. I don't quite get it. Like, there's no point of using a stun and a refract to go for just the idea that they might have ran up immediately past. Like, who runs immediately to here in this situation? I don't know. It's an off day. No, it's not an off day. It's you guys don't understand how much of this is coached like into set stuff. You know what I mean? Is that him misclicking, or like I think that they had an idea here and something's gone wrong, or what? Like I don't know. Would you prefer Vice or Cypher on this map? I vastly prefer Vice. I was a bit confused when I saw the Cypher from Fnatic. I'm not gonna lie. I think it allows Alpha to be comfortable doing the A stuff. I guess like they're gonna play a lot of Waylay here. I think with Cypher A, right? I think. Like I said before, they play for retakes a lot of the time. So they're letting Alpha go for safe kills, playing Cypher, and then they play retake, I guess. And the Vice might not suit them they're kind of like retake style in a way, because the Vice is like holding more, and you can flood in with the delay, whereas Cypher doesn't really delay in the same way.
Back to the A site.
The decision then, when you see this utility come through from Alpha here, do you stick around, do you look for the fight, or do you simply...
So you look instantly playing for retake.
It looks like he's made the right call. And Crashies, he didn't think he needed a fallback. He should have been...
Alpha shouldn't have his cam open here. Yeah, he's made a mistake.
inside the smoke.
If he, that's kind of annoying to watch. He waits for his teammates to come over here, and then he opens cam, and then they can inform where they want to use their util. Like, this camera's perfect for a retake. Unless he was stuck in cam the entire time.
Be a quick scurry to the map.
Let's see.
Stick around, you look for the fight.
So he goes back, and then does he open cam now? If he opened the cam now... Yeah, okay, it's unlucky timing. He opened cam, I think, for Crashies to get kills off of it. But then Crashies immediately dies. And then if he goes out of the cam's going to get broken anyway, I think. Okay, I can't see. If he went into this cam once after Crashies died, he's made a mistake. If it's before Crashies died, it's fine. Because now you want the camera to inform where the stun should go and where the Ashes util should go, you know. Thank you, Xerox. Thank you for the sub, I appreciate it. Are you going to VOD review all matches eventually? No. Some matches aren't worth watching. Let's actually watch the retake. So we're going to see stun this corner. Oh, they use both. The saturate's nice on the retake, but they use saturate and stun here, which is a mistake. Stun, saturate, and star. Stun. I think they could save one of these. For sure. Whiff from Jemkin. Is Jemkin off this? Like, isn't Jemkin supposed to be what, like a top 10 player kind of vibe? Didn't I have him in my top 10? Did he have an off day? This Aftershock's nice. Yeah.
The way of Fnatic and an old school cam and the spike is going to be a nasty surprise. It means once again they haven't been able to get on it. Have they heard Munyet? No, they haven't. But he's going to...
I feel like everyone made mistakes here. Even the X-Pharaoh didn't. Did he need to peek?
It's just a wild spray through. Guesstimating Crashy's path out of
Chronicle looks crisp though.
in my mind is always going to be Icebox back in the day. They don't have that here.
Oh, Alpha just getting a random kill for the smoke.
Lotus, I mean, it's more recent. It's not as niche. I like the aged one.
Well, already.
Crash has been kind of, yeah. Crash has been kind of unlucky on the first, and then he's just been dominated there.
To see those stingers. Well, I've got it in map number 2. Shot dart out, but
Which team do I think stands out the most?
players would be certain demise. Even still, though,
Paper-X and Paper-X? Probably still.
For Fnatic. It's been a much better yet. It looks like he'll have pressure on him again. Stun lined up and fired through. Here comes the flash. He'll be caught by it. Hunter's Fury, though, sent through as a
Heretics look
drop down is good for
decent.
He'll find
Heretics look decent.
gets surrounded. Picks his fight from the corner. Boaster, though, putting the pressure on, and Munyet will be taken out.
It's only one game though, so it's like, it's just one game.
They started this out on the back foot, but the lead is now theirs.
What did Paper-X actually do? I obviously I can't remember. Okay. Okay, I remember.
they've looked better and better as the retakes have gone on. I think Boaster being able to bait the player in main, the Hunter's Fury not quite having the impact that they would have desired. Even still, from a low buy, it's not bad, but it's the committal of the ults late that definitely
Thoughts on the Chinese teams? I haven't watched that much, but like
fine, but the loss of the Hunter's Fury.
I haven't watched that much. My opinion of China as a region was always that it was the weakest region, though. Even when EDG won champs, I still thought it was the worst.
Anyway.
Yeah, their game came out later in China. As soon as they are able to activate the player base with their academy teams and stuff, they will take over though. The other thing is, can you explain why Vice is better than Cypher and Abyss? Honestly, I can't be bothered to go into like a breakdown, but like in general, I think Vice is better than Cypher in general. So like the way that because I'm not like coaching as much this year, I think a lot more, and I'm happier to use broader examples than go into specifics more. And so in general, power ranking wise, I think Vice is better than Cypher. And so I don't have to go into the weeds about it on every map, but like the reasons for that are I think that people have got very good at playing against Cyphers in general. I think that its win rate's decreasing in tier 1 in particular because people aren't dying to trips anymore. And the trip nerfs that happened to it not so long ago probably had an impact on that. The second thing is that when Sova exists, Yoru exists, Raze exist, Cyphers are having terrible times. Clones are being used very effectively. Raze nades are being used hyper effectively. Like the amount of min-max efficiency people have on using Raze nades to break trips is extremely high. You know, even KO existing to some degree is probably harder for a Cypher to play than a Vice to play against. There's just a lot of agents that beat Cypher, and I think people could become very comfortable playing around Cyphers. And then on the flip side, Vice's kit is ludicrous. Vice has a disgusting ult. Against some teams, you could put the wall down, and if they don't have a Yoru, like they can just never know how to go through the wall. Like sometimes that wall's an instant round, like an instant fucking map win. Wait, who broke that KO knife there? Okay, that's nice to see. That's really nice to see. They have anti-knife protocols, so when Kayak is stuck here, Kron knows that he has to break this. And again, we'll see Kayak hopefully going for a kill and just like dashing away. Yep. And then he still has, unlike a Jet, if he wanted to there, he could have used the Saturate to like secure more. Still has a Refract to just go in again for the retake now. Like this kit, I think is way better than Jet's kit. Jet's kit would be 1 and out, and then what you have? Nothing. Like you have nothing relevant anymore. Kayak still has options to use a choke denial CC or like in an interesting way, and now he has Refract for retake. DX broke every single Nats trip with shock darts. Yeah, I did see that, yeah. Oh, it's a nice lyric. I like this from Fnatic. I like this. A little detail. Alpha picking up the trip and then using it here on the retake. Very nice from Fnatic. The only thing is I still think that they should be pressuring this more. In a 5v4, I kind of get it though. 5v4, I can understand. Kron dying is pretty big. Alpha doesn't need to take this timing, especially as he's put his camera up here. Alpha doesn't need to take this duel at all. He should be containing right now. Like, the power of them right now, the win condition, is them using this ult and retaking. So taking that duel was probably a mistake. I had the same feeling about Vice and Koi, but the team, for example, in Lotus want to keep Killjoy, so we have some kind of indicator, Killjoy Tower Beard. Do you think it's important with them with Vice to have some kind of injured like chamber with an indicator or not? No. I think you could play Vice without info, to be honest with you. I think that Killjoy on Lotus is actually I still think Killjoy on Lotus is pretty good though. So like it's not the biggest worry. But like in general, I think that Vice is just plainly the strongest. Yeah. The Killjoy feels nicer to play with on defense. Like it feels like, oh shit, we've got this like turret here, it's doing nice things. I think the higher levels you go, the better Vice becomes, because I think teams are pretty good against Killjoys. Like I think that passive info against the greatest teams in the world are like it's gonna get broken. Whereas like against noobs, they're just gonna let you sit with a passive turret the whole game, right? Yeah, that's true. So I could be saying that like with the Vice, you kind of like use the wall as a trap almost, where you like you use a wall. You can change it if you want to. If a team is like abusing your wall, then you just kill them essentially, or you find a setup to deal with them. Bo's just sent me a message out of the blue about this. I'm not gonna reveal his secrets, but Alpha was not supposed to do this trip.
Already you can see they've spotted Boaster, and they know with the knife
Okay, once again, another problem for Fnatic is their retake again. They've not tried to hold a site yet. And the second thing is when they're playing retake, they've yet to explore anything interesting with the flanks. The only devil's advocate I can do is that they have ults to retake. But on the flip side, if Cushy is able to get onto site here, if they're able to get site without using KO ult, and they could just use KO ult in post, Fnatic are in a rough position. And it looks like that's going to be the case. Consistently, RRQ have been able to get open plants and free sites, which is a big problem for Fnatic's defense. Like, this is genuinely, like, concerning. Like, this is one of those moments. You remember earlier when someone asked how much percentage is macro versus, like, everything else in terms of, like, winning? And I said 35%. This is, like, this playing out. Like, Fnatic are better than RRQ, therefore they win. But the 35% here, like, RRQ have consistently got open plants into post plants against Fnatic, and Fnatic aren't going to get punished for it because Fnatic are better than RRQ. I think this is the meme, though. Like, this is where, like, me and... I think... I really want to have a discussion with Sideshow about it, because Sideshow's made a lot of videos recently, or a couple of videos, about teams who play for retake versus teams who deny plants, right? And he's very much on the deny plants side, and I'm much more on the retake side. I am not on the retake side in terms of like how Fnatic are playing this. I think this is almost like memeable how much they're playing for retake. Like it's not, they're not getting value or exploiting the things that a retake team should be doing. They're just playing for retake every single time, which is very different than having a complete retake game, if that makes sense. Like, just because a team plays a lot of retakes doesn't mean they're playing a good retake game. Like, I think they're playing a quite, like, they're playing a fairly weak retake game right now, I think. They're at least, they are pressuring flank this time. So that's fine. But it's late, and they're slow. And the retake's taking forever. And they're getting denied on the first share. Because there's no resistance at all, RRQ can set up quite aggressively in their posts. And then they're just happy to fight. They still win this. It's crazy. If they win this round, would Fnatic be eco? They would be, right? This round lost. Well, they get owned on their defense, right? So this is a huge round. This attack side, this defense from Fnatic would have been terrible had they not won this round, right? Yeah. You think the retakes work RRQ quite bad at post plants? No, I think the retakes work because they're Fnatic and they're better than RRQ.
Because that looked lucky to survive. Beautiful catch from his POV, but there were a lot of shots fired his way. It looked done. One through the smoke. Another
Jemkin again with the whiff.
Had a bad day. Benji remembers.
Well, Alpha, he's clearly feeling confident down on that stage.
Interesting idea. Breach done idea. Interesting that they're starting to get that. It's interesting they're not using the Cypher as a trap. There's potential layers here, right? So Cypher Cam could be used as a trap, but they're not doing the trap where the Cypher Cam is. They're doing the trap on the other side. Like this cam could now become a trigger point to do something like they're doing here on this side of the map. And this side of the map kind of feels like, oh, it's free to go walk. Like there's potential layers that they could work with there. In terms of like the trap subs. They have an Astra and a Breach with a Waylay. Like they can do interesting traps and the Cypher Cam can become a trigger for it. Yeah, this VODs, I never delete VODs. Alpha's such a nice guy, asking how they always are. Yeah, it's very, very wholesome. And this is something the teams struggle with a lot. Like, a lot of teams end up overfighting into middle and trying to hold middle from like down here. Whereas I think good teams understand that you don't need to do that very much. It was something that Anders was pushing a lot for, is like understanding like sometimes you don't need to be like dying at middle. You can like essentially just tiny choke points, like tiny little choke points, like good luck trying to go through them. As I say this, I'm sure that Fnatic now die. No. 4v4. Oh, that's an interesting timing though. I'm surprised given where Waylay is, they didn't two-man rotate through there just to clear it all though. Ah, just Monnet, please. No. It's so messy, man. This guy is so nervous, right? I thought Monnet was like really good when he played with like PRX. Something's very off with Monnet, I'm not gonna lie, like that doesn't look comfortable. Too harsh to say go back after killing Boaster in Heaven. The thing is, Bacon, I sometimes think that because I'm such an asshole all the time, in these micro moments, I've become more forgiving. It might be working with PaperX is maybe more forgiving though, because I can't control that. But like, yes. I mean, he should be chilling here for sure. If he actually got that kill clean, I wouldn't mind him immediately going for something more. But it was so messy that he probably needs to chill. In general, I'd say like my playstyle, and I know that like what Leo would probably do here is like chill, right? You're 4v3, you've got all the space, you've got the time. You're using time and positioning as a resource against the opponent. You have an open plant. Like, you have advantages in every part of your game, and you then just give up your life. I would agree with you. But I've become so cynical about loads of things about the game that I just end up giving people free passes more when it comes to micro. And I think I need to go back to being more cynical on that side, probably. Because I do think some of my analysis sometimes gets... isn't... yeah, could be more... I could be more analytical if I actually did not give people free passes for a micro. I would mention it too. I need to. I think that's the thing, Bacon, is I need to start thinking, as a coach, what would I mention or not mention? I think what I end up doing with those situations is, if I'm doing like a teleshare and someone made like a mistake like that, I probably wouldn't mention it because there's a lot of other things that I want to get across. I don't want to focus on that maybe, but it is something that I do think that sometimes I don't do. Like if it was a mistake that I would actually say as a coach, then I probably should be saying it as a broadcast analyst. Yeah, I think it depends on the narrative, yeah. But I think if it's like just a post match and we're just talking about players and stuff, and like I don't make the point, that's a mistake. But if it's like I'm not making the mistake, if I'm not making the point on purpose so that it's not distracting from a broader narrative, then that makes sense, I guess. How do you get into coaching? I'm a dick when people ask me this question. You go coach a team. The only way to get into coaching is by coaching. You find some people to coach, and you coach them. Okay, it should be a simple round for RRQ to close. Should be. Nice push through. Very nice from RRQ. What's that recon, by the way? Bo's had some cheeky recons that Crashy's had to learn, I think. Where did that recon land? You can see him lining it up from back here. Landed on... I think it's landed on the pipe for the retake. Yeah, it's kind of cheeky. How do you study the game in a way that you understand? What? You just... You watch a lot of VODs and you coach a team. I also do think that this is something that I'm sorry to derail sometimes. I remember again Anders talking about like playing other games or understanding other games as a means to understanding Valorant, or like understanding strategy, I guess, in general. And I kind of disregarded that idea. But then when thinking about it, I am someone who has played a lot of different games. And like I do think it is useful to think about things in that way. Like I've played MOBAs, I've played RTS, I've played like FPS. I've played like fucking RPGs and shit, you know what I mean? Like I think there is something to that, like an understanding different, yeah. Because there was this kind of narrative about Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike's definitely the most important game to come from to apply skills to Valorant. But a lot of Counter-Strike people became a bit narrow-minded about Valorant, in my opinion. And I think that by having a broader perspective on gaming in general probably did help me in some ways. I think one of the most important things was just, for me, seeing how, you know, Grubby in Warcraft 3 or Rafa in Quake, like seeing them, like they often talk about their processes of how to get good, and like that aspect of it really helped me, I think, to even like Steel in Counter-Strike was someone who like he'd openly make process type videos where like he's talking about like how to get good. So I think that was probably helpful amongst different games seeing. Okay, finally Fnatic are playing a strong side, or a strong side on a site in which RRQ are execing. They get the kill. Oh, Rolling Thundered in. Oh, okay. It's messy. It's still messy. Do I listen to pro sports coaches as well? No, to be honest with you, I didn't really. I read a couple of Phil Jackson books like too late. Like, how do I explain it? I read a Phil Jackson book and I thought it was useless, and then I coached a lot and then read it and then it was very useful, if that makes sense. By the time I read it and understood it, I was like, oh shit, like, it wasn't useful at the start. Like, being so new to coaching meant that a lot of the resources didn't help me. I needed to go through the process of coaching first, if that makes sense. I listen to some stuff and I watch some stuff. I like UFC a lot, so like I follow that a little bit, if that makes sense. In terms of like listening to people, like I listen to a lot of like podcasts on like interviews, interview kind of podcasts, and there probably is some relevance there, where it's like people who are like high performers in non-sporting backgrounds talking about their processes and life in general, I guess. Probably has had some impact. You know, like comedians or actors or, you know, artists or something. Musicians. Okay, so what do Fnatic do? They've strong-sided B. They know they don't have info here, and they know that there's pressure here. What do they do? They just accept fate? No, boast rotates. Nice breach done to stop, but ultimately, I think the star's late. We could have started here and done something with it probably. But again, we're in a retake. They're flooding in backside to go cheeky, but they're going to end up running away. Yep. Yeah. To be honest with you, you have to give RRQ credit in the fact that they have basically played Fnatic into retakes consistently, and Fnatic have gained no value. Like, truthfully, they could have started the round here, Fnatic, in a lot of these rounds with 5 people. They could have sat spawn, to be honest with you. Like, they haven't really put enough kill pressure on in these execs, in my opinion, or put any pressure on the map to like do anything super interesting. It is the nature of Abyss on defense to some degree, that like it's such a wide open map that you're going to get unlucky sometimes. You're going to roll low and the other team's going to go to the position in which you don't want them to. But there's still some interesting problems with their defense, I think. I like Con's attitude from the interviews. It seems he's just enjoying himself. I don't think you have to be competitive, extremely serious to be a hard worker. I'm always interested by the way that people are perceived versus how they actually are. Kron is, when he's in the work environment, he can be light. He can be light, but I wouldn't describe him as light, if that makes sense, in the work environment. Like, he gets on with it. He does get on with it. And, like, he's the most stoic in terms of, like, if we're on a bad day, like, he's the one I worried about the least, you know what I mean? And then on the flip side, if we had a good day, he's not going to be the one who's going to, like, pretend it matters that much. I think his silliness would be in those work environment moments. Like his silliness could be probably leveraged a little bit more at times. But I do like the fact that he's just like he was very good in the role of just being like the stoic person to like make sure we were just not too hyped and not too depressed. Both Chronicle. Chronicle's always had a bit of a trolly outward appearance at times. Like, it's not been consistent, but he's always had it. Like he is funny. He's simultaneously very serious and very unserious. Like, he's kind of not. You know when people are like not like simple caricatures, like Chronicle is definitely not a simple caricature of a personality. Right, attack side. It's looking like a fake on B, in which they're gonna take a timing through middle.
This is their best chance so far. The lead by 2. Pistol round from Fnatic.
It's a bit of a weird shot.
Half 2 of Ascent. It was a bloodbath to start it out. Cushy getting aggressive, and he's being tagged up. It's time to fall back.
They couldn't catch the timing, so cancel into just going B.
Taking some scars early on, but
That I'm not convinced by this pistol.
do they have the read right? You see a lot
Who is the simplest caricature of the players you've coached? That sounds like a mean way to put it.
seems like for the
And I don't.
that's where Fnatic is targeted, but I am seeing Boaster
Hmm?
a lot of space on A.
It's almost an early pick. Kayak eventually will find one, but he's traded out by Cushy again. He seems to love this team side.
It's more like
But with space being held, this was something that the old Fnatic on this
it's almost like there's more subtleties and contradictions in some personality types, right? Some people are just loud and fun, or some people are just like quiet and timid and shy, and like that's like it, like, and that's fine. I don't know. I don't think it's. I don't think anyone was. I think everyone that I coached had multiple things going on in both a healthy and unhealthy way.
Found himself 3 already, but he's the last healthy player. Alpha down to 25. That's Sheriff.
Like when I think about Alpha, I think it'd be very easy to paint him with like he's loud and kind of like sociable kind of brush, and he's a bit like silly, and like in games sometimes he can be a bit dumb, but like Alpha's like very, very smart in some instances about certain things. Like and he is like, you know, sensitive in some areas, whereas like you might think that he's just like not for whatever reason.
Conversion here. Oh, Alpha under pressure. He has been taken down. It's only classic
Hello.
from RRQ.
Hello, Anna.
But now they've managed to find themselves a Marshall. Alongside damage, that can be a very valuable weapon in a round like this. They will be forced into the retake.
One-dimensional? I guess, I don't know. Maybe nobody is as one-dimensional as I'm trying to make implying, but it's fine to be. I don't think it's a bad thing if your personality type is like one way and like you're committed to that thing, and it's like there's no contradiction in you, or you know what I mean? How the fuck does this happen? How the fuck did this happen? Camera's in such a weird spot. What the fuck is this camera? Is it on? Is it on the fucking on the pillar thing? Thoughts on the Waylay? I like Waylay. I prefer Yoru, if I'm gonna be honest. I prefer the Yoru, but I like the Waylay. I also think it's good in terms of like what Fnatic would want to do on this map. Like, I think that they basically do prefer Jet to Yoru, is basically what they're saying. But Waylay is just a better Jet, I think, is basically the way I see it. Oh, it is up high. It's not the best camera in the world because it didn't get the back right side right. That's a nice clutch. Boaster's always good for those clutches though, right? Like, his aim always looks decent in those clutches. It's just when like those consistent rounds where like where he's got to talk and think and stuff, where his aim like sometimes just goes a bit weird, but his aim is good. His raw aim is good. I've heard other guys say she's a worse Jet. How come you think she's better? People think she's a worse Jet because they see Jet as an attack side self-sufficient duelist who can dash into a smoke and survive. I see Jet as a duelist who dashes in and doesn't survive as often as people think and dies more than people think. I think people see Waylay as a non-self-sufficient duelist who looks stupid at diving in on attack sides because teams aren't the best at utilizing utility around her, and Waylay players themselves haven't got the skill ceiling yet to take sites efficiently, if that makes sense. So slowly but surely, we're going to see more and more Waylays being played, and over time, people understanding how to support the Waylay in a way that's good. At the moment, there's lots of instances where the Waylay dives in and it looks stupid, and people just say, well, why wouldn't you just play Jet? And I would agree if you were just looking at it and watching bad teams do it, if that makes sense. I think that on defense, Waylay's value is considerably higher than a Jet's. And I think on attack, once people slowly but surely figure out how to do the util around the Waylay a bit better, it's going to be decent. Or like, so in this instance, it's a solo Waylay, and I don't love solo Waylay, but they have enough util around it to make it work, if that makes sense. I do like the Yoru plus Waylay combo that people are running, where it doesn't put as much emphasis on having to have the perfect dive possible, if that makes sense. You can kind of dive with the Yoru. In ranked, don't play Waylay. Like, just play Jet. In ranked, I'd probably just prefer a Jet. There is more self-sufficiency with the Jet in like a ranked environment than Waylay. But Waylay requires you to have a bit of a team cohesion dynamic thing going on, you mean?
Just about manages to survive that engagement. The Cypher healthy towards the spawn, but a 5 versus 3. That investment for Fnatic paying off.
But that was the man we wanted to see. He's been missing throughout the majority of this series. Pushy trying to take space back through. This is not going to be easy. Maybe it is. There's a gap.
You think Waylay in ranked is more easy? I mean, okay. I don't agree, but
Interesting for sure. They've dodged themselves that knife, but now already that time being caught and Boaster and Chronicle. Easy, maybe.
I didn't actually see what happened this round.
We'll see how the economy settled. This player starts to fall. He's got one up top. That's another rifle. This is a
If that dive didn't happen or work, this round's kind of difficult because they don't have Fnatic don't have the second duelist or an Omen TP. So whatever Kayak's dive is, it is gotta be successful, if that makes sense, I think. Like, they don't have an Omen to TP up, they don't have a Yoru's like TP front sight or anything. So whatever dive Kayak does is much more important than with other comps. Luckily, again, as I said, he has a lot of util around him to make sure his dives are decent. Waylay Yoru better than Waylay Breach? I think Yoru is a much stronger agent than Breach, yes. Hey, pal. I mean, RRQ's comp, I'll be honest. I've never liked this composition, even back when KO was more socially acceptable. But to play... Yeah, you're playing 3 bad agents, in my opinion. I think Cypher, KO, and Jet are all bad agents.
the same reaction from Chronicle, but I think he's still pretty happy to take this round. And you see the idea there from RRQ. As soon as they tap the spike, the knife didn't hit anyone. They have a grab well. We need to
I mean, both are just killing people through a fucking
Pressing their child. I think out witness just that even with some start has been
What I liked from this, I remember going through the attack side, just quickly looking through. There has been an active effort from Fnatic to understand how to play quicker on attack sides. Like, they consistently planted the spike sometimes, like, before even a minute at times.
going down like this. I mean, look, it's still a very tight game, but now they've got pistols. You should be looking at a 9 to 7.
The Breach, like, my criticism of them before was like they're playing comps like a Neon comp, and they weren't going quick or ever putting fast strats. And now they're playing a comp that is like a fast strat kind of comp, and they are actually doing it. So give them credit for actually adding some fast stuff. Even on Ascent, they had some faster rounds.
Looking remarkable, the young gun, but you're getting diffed by Boaster. That's something that I think you know.
He's a young man.
He is, yeah. And as the desk was highlighting, his stage 2 performance was lacking a little bit individually. But we've seen that. The guy's got a lot of
As I say it, they decide to stay in A main for 50 seconds. But still,
Space once again.
they kept it simple.
I'm not quite finding anything. Of course, there's not a whole lot to play with in this round, so it might be a chance for him to farm. He already has ult online, but I think the confidence far more valuable for Fnatic at this stage. The duelist trying to get their way back into the game, and that's exactly what's happening.
Is Alpha actually using the Phantom these days? Is Alpha a Phantom player? It only took him 5 years. Alpha said in an interview they just don't have time to switch up. What?
When that came into play on the defensive side of Ascent, it was a massive game changer. That's where Jemkin really did the damage. The problem thus far, and a problem that, again, I still remember back to
The long story short is though, Bacon, they shouldn't be dashing, they shouldn't be refracting out. Like, if they're gonna refract out, it has to be quite late. Like, they shouldn't be in a situation where they're diving into danger in a way. Like, the danger can't be that high. Which is obviously difficult to exec a site and expect it to be no danger, but I mean, Suck, Stun, like, he shouldn't be refracting out, obviously, in like these situations. Whereas teams keep using the Waylay in a way that's like so dangerous that it's like, of course this motherfucker's gonna dash, like, refract out.
Himself falling in a 5v3 that start delivering, but the opportunities are few and
back to the beginning of the season where Fnatic played, I think it was versus Gentlemates. They loved.
It's very passive angle from Jemkin.
Seems like they've developed.
Is there nowhere he feels he can play against the Breach?
Jemkin will be waiting for them.
Is he gonna actually try and go at the smoke here? Cam, if they can, this is kind of interesting actually. Do they cam open for him to try and find a pick? That's kind of cool. Yeah, cam open for him to try and find something. It's kind of cool. How did Kron get that? Oh. Okay. There was a cool idea there. But I think it's a very passive angle to start the round from.
Pretty damning for RRQ. The attack side looking stellar from Fnatic. It started with clutches, it started with individual brilliance.
Yeah, I think that the Cypher should, like, the most annoying Cyphers to play against on that site are the ones who put the cages across and make it feel like there could be 5 people flooding the site or something. It feels claustrophobic. Okay, Eco. I'm not gonna watch Eco.
The effort. Alpha clearly feeling it. Well, this time, Munyet's revenge hasn't really looked like it's taken its toll. 4 rounds ahead.
I don't really know what they're doing. Solo B.
And high impact ultimates on board.
Fnatic are faking B. They're doing their pistol strat again. Faking B and then using that to go middle. I don't really see how it works though. I don't really get the vision.
But the success hasn't been there.
RRQ should have, just by having this line, RRQ should be in a good spot this round, but they're one of those teams that overemphasizes playing around here, it seems, which can be a problem. That's a nice breach shot idea. Bo's just got into a nice spot. Alpha kills the player going this way. Yeah. I want to see more rounds with that ults, man. But we're not going to see them. Again, solo B. They're so...
The conversation has been going around about Fnatic being in the weakest state in terms of their map pool so far. When we might have to reconsider. Ascent was close. In the second half of Abyss, it has been anything but. They were 7-5 down. And now just one round away from...
Okay, reclearing A main. Do they do anything with it? No. Are they going to rotate the longest rotation in the game? Oh. Yeah, I mean, they just ended the game playing solo B. Something fell off. Something feels off.
Right-hand side, they're yet to be broken. They now will be, or at least the first one. If anybody's jumping across, Boaster could go flying off the map, but it may not even matter in the end.
I do think this comp is just kind of bad, though. I'm not a big fan of this comp. Okay. TLDR. Fnatic's Ascent was still a little bit shaky. Their defense needs work on Abyss. Their attack side looks pretty good, but like I like the philosophy change in general of like speeding up a little bit, playing for the win condition of their comp. Some of the rounds, the pistol round kind of idea, I don't really understand. But in general, pretty decent. Yeah. They still need to, I think they still need to, yeah. Still, perhaps the game need to advance probably through the tournament. Takeaways for Fnatic. I mean, takeaways are... Like, what did they do? What did they do well and not so well on this map? I think in general, I think this map was just defined by the fact that Kayak wasn't having, wasn't being able to be Kayak so much. And so meant that there was troubles on their defense at times, I think. I don't think it was much more than that. It's still a little bit concerning winning both pistols and then being this close to RRQ, who I don't think had the best defense ideas. They also gave up 4v5s on their attack in multiple instances against Operator, or even sometimes Rifle, around middle. It wasn't big things, I don't think. Their defaulting on attack was slightly better. It was better. Yeah. On Abyss, their defense needs a lot of work, I think, still. But it might just be Abyss. Like, maybe I'm being too cynical. But to win every single round with a diffuse means you probably need to look at something there. You have missed the vote of you, yes. Is FNS the go? No. TLDR for Ascent was Kayak, can you shoot a little bit more? But then when you got Chronicle going plus 14, it feels unfair to say that. Defense, I still think there's some defense shit. They've improved their attack. I still think defense has some stuff to look at. Here, they're playing retake every single round. So that needs to be looked at. Attack side, they've got a good attack side comp in which Bosa can make some cool execs. It's going to be fine. Can you explain the idea between Breach on Abyss? I think the idea for them is they like to play for retakes, and the Breach allows them to facilitate retakes. They don't have paranoia, and so the Breach becomes like almost like a paranoia replacement for strong execs for the Waylay and for retakes. There's also, in terms of like Breach... In terms of like cross-map breach play, I think Fnatic have always been the best in the world at like playing for you know, like it seems pretty simple, but like a stun like this that Chronicle did for like to stop the team going for an A split is the kind of thing you're going to see Fnatic do more consistently than I think any other team who would play breach. I think when we used to play split with the breach, I think Cron was very good at like, you know, the cross-map stun power that he has, like he juices value from the agent that other people don't as much. You know what I mean? Like when he is doing all the cross-map stuns, he's always like very ready to like help out. You know, so he gets some value there too. I think they struggled massively with contesting market pizza on Ascent defense. Always felt like they were worried about pack pressure for B-Bed. I'd have to go back and watch. I don't remember. Kayak played pizza a couple of times. They would be main once in a nice way and then played for middle control, which was quite nice. Chronicle... Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, right, I'm done with that. Should we do anything else? I kind of want to go to the gym. I got 800 likes for that tweet. I don't understand Twitter sometimes. What did I tweet that I thought 800 likes for that? Is it because I just put this when I'm obviously just cursing? Wastelaying got 90. Corrodin's better than this nonsense. Corrodin's better than this. You guys just like it when I'm nice to people, but I wasn't actually being nice. I was just cursing. Boaster has name value. That's true, yeah. Boaster mentioned. Yeah. Fucking fraud. Right before Fnatic got Alpha, the rumors were that he was going to big. Going to big? He was choosing between Supermassive Blaze and us. And from what I know, he wanted to go to Supermassive Blaze, but his agent told him he was stupid. So thank you, Alpha's agent. Rare Agent W. I mean, I think the agent was probably looking after their own interest to some degree. But yeah, I have odds turned on. Yeah. Should I do something? I feel like I should capitalize on the fact that there's a lot of you watching. But at the same time, I'm a free man with free will. Is there anything interesting from any of the games? We already watched DRX. Energy. I'm not accepting. I'm not watching that. I'm not watching that. Thank you, Steph. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Bully Boaster, please. Let's start the subs. Yeah, should I just sit here and beg for money? Look, you got 1.2k viewers. Sure, if how do I word this? If all of you just sub to me right now, just all of you sub to me right now, I could. What could I do? I can't really promise anything anyway. Don't you guys think about that logic all the time? Thank you, Dance. Coach Mini doing Fin Dom. That's funny. Thank you, Dance. Thank you, Hover. Thank you, Achum. Welcome, Silent Natsk. Vihun, Marchi, and Skelnax. I appreciate that. Achum. Made cosplay at 1k subs. 1k subs, we've only got 912 more subs for the maid costume, apparently. Thank you, Tixu. There's a chance that, like, I think it's safe to say that I could say maid cosplay at 1k subs, because that's never happening, right? I need emotes. Oh yeah, shit, I was supposed to get emotes. Fuck. I was basically someone was doing me emotes, but this was back when I didn't know what I wanted my stream to be. Like I didn't know what the brand of my stream was or something. And now I still don't know what my stream should be, or what the aesthetic should be, or my brand should be. And so I just don't have them. Yeah. Thank you, Gatso the Coder. Thank you. I appreciate it. How many subs do you think I should have? Like, what do you guys think? How many subs should I have? Like, compared to, like, so I obviously don't average 1.2k viewers. 100-ish? Okay. We need 10 more subs. Someone said 500 at least. I agree with the 500. I think we should have 500. If anything, we should have 1,000. I feel like consistently when I do get into rhythms of streaming, I feel like I have less subs than I should have for viewers, if that makes sense. But maybe that's a me problem. Maybe I just need to beg more. Thank you very much, Mark. I do appreciate you doing your part. 200 according to viewers. So you think it's like 1 to... Like, I obviously don't usually average 1.1k viewers. Like, my average, I think, historically is like 500, I think. That might be too much. Do the Slicky Prime sub begging strap. Yeah, start of year, I averaged like 100. So I am very happy that people do actually watch my stream sometimes now. You need to run max ads. I do. People complain about my ads all the time. To the point where I get kind of annoyed. Like, it's kind of annoying to see people receiving free content getting annoyed with ads. Sliggy's not live, so we're safe. What do we want to do? Should I watch one more thing? Let me text my friend 1 sec. Because he's dodged gym for like so many days now that I'm like, I'm not going to quit my stream if he's dodging gym again. Do the first week power ranking. No. Boring. What do you think of the 100 Thieves rebuild? is there anything to think about it if they don't have any players for me to comment on? Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, what do you want me to say? They are not performing at the level in which they think that they should be performing at, and they've had the same players pretty much for 2 years. Have they let go of Cryo? Have they let go of Cryo? Just because he's being put... Okay, let's read this carefully, just in case I'm not being stupid. They've allowed him to explore options whilst they decide on a rebuild for next year. Usually this means that you're kicked, but there's a situation here where we know how good Cryo is, that like it could easily just be they're trying to decide how to rebuild for next year, right? Is it EU the only one who hasn't announced? Therefore, there's people think that other people are being kicked because EU's not being that. EU Ascen's tweet was slightly different. That's the kind of shit that you need to put in this tweet, by the way. Like, if you actually want to keep your position on the team, there's a chance that Cryo just knows that he's going to get a team elsewhere and might just be done. You know what I mean? Not to, again, that sounds like I'm putting words in his mouth, but like, that is a legit consideration. Is like, do the players want to stay on the team? Like, is another thought. You know what I mean? No way is your position on a team dependent on how you word a tweet. That's not what I said at all. The listening comprehension sometimes. What I'm trying to say is that the kind of attitude that you want in your team is going to be the kind of attitude that's like, I'm fighting for my life on this team. If I'm a coach, I want to see a player who's going to be doing that. I don't want some players like, oh yeah, I don't fucking care, I'm going to go join a different team. It's not to say that like you have to put a tweet a certain way. I'm just saying that like, if I'm a coach, I know that how Asuna is perceived internally at 100 Thieves is a very, very good like personality to have around. And it's those little things like that that consistently make him the kind of person that you might want to have on your team. But you're just an employee, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't really understand what you're trying to say. I mean, no, you're not just an employee. Not really. This ain't the same as the real world. Really. They're part of an elite group of people fighting for jobs at a very elite levels, in which you do sometimes need to signal certain things to keep your job. It's not like you're fighting against like you're not fighting for other people for a 9 to 5. You guys sometimes really annoy me. Like, what am I supposed to? I'm supposed to. Like, I'm not the kind of person who treats this like I understand the context of like work and like life, and I know what it's like to have a shit job and all that shit. Like, I don't really know sometimes what you're trying to say. You don't have to answer. You don't. Okay, sorry if I was a bit blunt. I don't know. I don't know. Is there anything worth watching? T1 almost losing to DRG. I'm not super convinced. NRG EDG is more convincing a game. What my friend said. Okay, I have until I have 30 minutes. I have 25 minutes. I can flick through one of these VODs. I'm obviously, with 25 minutes, I'm not getting through all of this nonsense. So don't expect me to watch this. But which map do you want to watch? Abyss or Corrode? I'm not watching T1 DRG. I'm not watching T1 DRG. Abyss, energy attack. Abyss, energy attack. Okay. Abyss, energy attack.
To see how it plays out here.
I do quickly want to see.
And now this utility from Brock really just that is a little power of the individual. And IG have a few steps early. Has to place the code just to be safe. A shot. Challenges through the code. That's already code just to be safe.
Why the fuck are they Sage Warded this? Sorry. I'm speedrunning the VOD for myself just to see what happened on attack.
He has to give that ground away. Deploy the one involved though. He's scrabbling back on the side to try and get Smoggy catches a very low HP.
I like the passive wall. It's not the worst idea. Clone. It's hard to get the clone off against that wall. And then nice push out.
Absolutely in their wheelhouse. Defensive team with great drilling and fundamentals. They're gonna have to deal with a bit more pressure on the A side, and it's a gate.
Playing on site with a Visor is mental.
We have seen playoffs. Mata will have a slow. You never count him out. Jenny steps out. Mata realizes.
Okay, right. I'm not gonna waste your times doing this because I think people get really frustrated watching me do that. Right, let's go. Energy attack side. EDG wolves were suspect. Someone missed me. Why did someone whisper me hi?
Reflect on the beginning of this game for but a moment, where Smoggy won a crazy 1 versus 3 on
I like the duck. My favorite emote is the duck, the dancing duck twerking. Is it a twerking duck? I think it's a twerking duck. Do we have that one? Yeah, that one. Why? I don't know. It's just so silly. In terms of positioning, I think this feels quite sound from EDG defensively. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of just sitting someone deep middle, but it is what it is. This is sus. This is sus. To insta wall after being pressured off is sus. It's very bad. I think you want to be ready to, like, you can sit like here nowadays, I think, and like play with range on your wall. Like, you don't need to insta wall. You could If you really need to block, you can wait and block
Cascades, high tides,
properly.
towards mid, makes the defenders
Hmm.
forced to re-clear.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you see someone here, you don't instantly wall in front of them so they can break it. You know what I mean? Kind of stupid.
That Sage will, even if broken, would force a wider swing on A main. The risk energy at this point. Might read and take.
Energy have cut noise, broken part of that barrier already in A main, but EDG have had no desire to leave this site. 3 players are ready to face this.
No body position as well, assuming some mid control to be taken, but there's going to be no pressure coming
But
out.
ultimately,
Too easy for Kung Kung. Decent damage done from the middle of the site here. It's Scuba up mid. Smoggy catches him with the Parador in the way past the Brook.
how do NRG win this round? Like, this is it, right? Like, if ADG just won this round,
Decent damage done from the middle. No pressure coming out of tower here. It's just too easy for Kung
feels like some complacency.
Decent damage done from the middle of the site here. Scuba up mid. Needs to do more. Smoggy catches the Parador in the way past the Brook. Quickly out to throw down. He gets out of the dark cover. So Smoggy again has to clutch it up. Not again, right?
Sure, only 18 health of Rock right now going up.
He got a drop on it, but missed. Smoggy in 7.
Oh, okay, he wins anyway. Oh, they win from here? 11-2? Hmm,
This round now, yeah, forcing for the rest of the map.
that's crazy.
Alive, and then is able to get out scot-free.
5v4? Sure.
This one is
No.
so done.
They-
Time for energy to lick their wounds, reset, and try to get
Wyatt.
their own pick.
Moments before disaster.
A very good one.
Yeah, by round win rate percentage, it was EDG's best map of stage 2. They were winning 61% of round.
At this moment, you think EDG are literally winning champs right now. Like, this is the level that of like, this is the level of insanity that Valorant does to people. Like, I would be like, yeah, EDG winning champs, energy are fucking awful. America's terrible region. Like, I get into that frame of thinking just as easy as everyone else.
Pinged out target, but that's just a footnote. Here's Brog looking to step up now. Had a window before the relay ball connected. Ends up being a trade. Kung Kung here still trying to command from tower with the Bulldog.
And EDG do have superior long-range weapons for these distance engagements on this site.
The flash was good, but not enough. Kung Kung still brought down. Someone with the Stinger, bring a bit of America's flavor into the round. G2 has a challenge here through this cove, and he's ready. But Mana from long range, sitting back with the Sheriff. G2 now with the Bulldog in that 1 versus 2. Mana checks, confirms, looks to have a swing. G2's got into half. The time is
The full cover.
cost him his life. Died. So
I'm not watching Eco.
The ultimates percent. How EDG to get to match point. I think NRG will do whatever it takes. Expend anything necessary.
3A main.
There's just some of
Sage is now B. A backside B.
that nice
Sage. Ugh.
that you can get early mid
Ugh.
playing with the harbor. A deep cascade, recon past it.
Is it just for this wall?
over towards the B side of the map.
If you could do this vertical wall early enough, it's kind of
Nobody on
okay.
has been given the hot foot.
But look at where he's got. Look where he is. Oh yeah, GG.
Now G2's got nowhere to go.
Kind of glad he gets punished for it.
Caught on coast inside the razor fight, and nobody got the drop there on some. No one looking in that direction, but Marta eventually flicks to attention. So I'll get inside there at tower. The Genie has the win.
Yeah, I don't really accept that as the way you should play Sage. I don't think.
Really early of you. The reckoning can't go forward because the wall, his own wall is placed in front of him. And he's getting hit by the Hunter's Fury.
Brook knew exactly where it was. No risks taken there on digging out that coast player.
Yeah, G2 is no longer playing sick execute from NRG. And they do still have this dimensional drift on retainer. They're getting close to that steel garden as well.
Eco. Who cares?
I think this opportunity for him is still there.
We see them that their punish.
It's the neon. To be able to ults to get the kill on, to consistently need to do that to keep clawing back into this game. It's a good.
The Plat Chat power ranking was shocking how recency bias was in there. I think anyone who criticized that Plat Chat ranking should give me their ranking. Like, what was your ranking? I want to see what your ranking was before the event. Because, like, it wasn't that bad a ranking. The Plat Chat ranking wasn't that bad. Yeah, BLG, I wouldn't have put BLG for. Like, It's really frustrating. Like, one of the things as like a broadcast talent that like your job is to do is to set expectations, right? Like, you have to try and set expectations. This team's going to be better than this team. So it's really important to like understand where you think teams are at. The really frustrating thing though is it's really difficult to set expectations with the Valorant audience, because the Valorant audience just hindsights every time. So like when I say that this team is worse than this team and the team that is worse wins, apparently I was supposed to know that that team was better than the other team in the first place, and that's not the case. Like, some teams are worse and then go to an event, get better, and win. You know what I mean? Like, it's really frustrating. I think Pansy and like Panpok are really good when they're casting at setting expectations during like the game and like understanding where teams lie and like kind of setting it up. But then like Pansy sometimes get criticized for like the way she like talks about teams as if like they're not equal. It's like, well, of course they're not fucking equal. Like, one of them is expected to do well, and one of them is not expected to do well. The team that's not expected to do well, if they do better, then we can praise that. It's not that our predictions are stupid.
So far, they're on a 4-round run, and they've got a Steel Garden plus Dimensional Drift to play with on a round where EDG are beginning to get the ultimates of their own finally online. There's that Kang Kang op is in the mix now.
If you had MLBR finishing like I had Aspas actually 15th in my ranking, because I thought that like there is a potential like Aspas could just pop off and randomly get MLBR top 4 or something, like in a ludicrous turn of events. But that would be ludicrous. Like, we can't sit here and pretend that we thought MLBR was like a top 5 team at the event or something. Yeah, the me turning around thing's funny. I didn't realize, like, honestly, I didn't realize how long, like, I said to Mike afterwards, like, I got very lucky in turning around even that quickly, because I didn't realize that we were on camera. Like, I'm so stupid at broadcast that I was like, he was like, yeah, but you saw yourself on the screen. And I was like, I wasn't paying attention. Okay, let's go back and watch, because I was raging. Yeah, Sage being a B player, I don't think this is correct. I don't mind the Sage being used to slow down B main necessarily, but I don't think it's correct. You might as well. They're not playing Sage correctly. Just play Vice. Like, if you're going to play like this, just play Vice. I don't really get what they're trying to do. Is that a vape? No, this is a Fnatic Lamzu mouse USB extension thing. This is a pen, and I'm using both to fidget with because I'm bored. I'm biting the pen now. I shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, I mean, they're playing Sage B. They better take a timeout and move this motherfucker. I want to see Sage trying to anchor B, throwing down walls like he's a Vice. Oh, fucking boring, man. The EDG are guilty of the obsession of middle looking down and playing a Sage on B. Crimes against humanity. Hi, Coach Mini. Do you know when Valorant patch 11.06 releases? I don't know anything. I sometimes know stuff about how teams are stupid, but beyond that, I don't know anything. It's a nice little flashback in. Nice little flashback in. Kong Kong. They lose this round. Surely they lose this round. How are they losing 12-7? I want to see classic Kong Kong throwing now. Euro ulted in. What's going on? How did they lose? Surely they win this round. Surely they win this round. Surely they win this round. Yeah. 12-7 they lose from. 12-7 with a Sage ult. Okay, thank you. Okay, this round looks nice. Nice little push down through. They got a little bit of resistance. You can just go run away. You can push through if you want to. It's up to you. Confused white energy using this wall here and not here, but it's whatever. Full retake though. Okay, 5v4 retake on B. With a res. With a res. 5v4 retake on B with a res. Kong should not... I don't think you need to go for a relurk now. Now that we have a res, like, I think you just play the 5v4 back to front. Okay. Why are they running across the site like that? Like, what? In these moments, the way that you play in heavy advantages when you're a duelist is you no longer entry frag. Like, I used to have rules with Durka about, like, okay, if we're anti-eco or if we're in, like, massive advantages, if I see you double satcheling into sites, I'm going to be annoyed. And, like, this is what they're doing here. Is like, GN is basically deep diving into a site by himself when there's a 4v3. It's really basic shit that in 2025 is not acceptable. Like, that res, the only reason that res is allowed is because of the Sage buff, and even then it's hard to protect a body that's, like, so deep now. So Device should be able to still... Okay, it doesn't get... He still gets away with it. How did they lose this? What? This guy... Smoggy is quite literally lost. What's going on? Okay. Did that player at Heaven make a mistake, or is that unlucky? I think it might have been a bit unlucky. No Sage Wall, no win. Did they? He didn't have Sage Wall? Why didn't he have Sage Wall? He's Sage Walling a main. I think it's a B. I think it's a B. I think it might be a B. Given... If it's not a B, who cares? Why are we Sage Walling? If he had Sage Wall here, they win. Yeah, the Sage usage in this game has been horrific. At least on defense. Okay. Better macro this round a little bit. But is he gonna hard hold this A site by himself? I mean, it's low buy. It's fine. It's fine. But if he didn't just run in and die like that, nobody actually was winning this round for them. Okay. They did not use it once for defuse. Chicho's a good player, but this bugs. This is like when I'm annoyed. Like, I think that the thing when I'm like being annoyed about this stuff, at no point am I at almost no point am I criticizing Chichu. Like, in a weird way. Like, I consider this all coaching mistakes. Which probably reveals more about my coaching philosophy than it does, like, maybe the reality of the situation. But, like, I would accept all the blame for this stuff if I was coaching this. You know what I mean? It depends how your team's ran, but, like, I think if if I saw a player playing like this, or I would presume it's the coach's responsibility to stop them or to make them macro so it's not what they're doing. Again, I don't mind what they're doing here, just gambling a strong side B. I don't know if it's worth having the TP on the B side of the map when they got so many people towards B, but... And now they got a push on B, like what are they doing? Why are they playing? It's a big gamble. See, this kind of wall usage, fine. This is fine. It feels like EDG are overthinking though. They're like almost sacrificing Kong Kong and then they're gonna like play behind him. But they're just gonna go A. And now they'll retake A. And once again, Choo is dead. Now they're leaving B completely open. Okay, that's fine. Okay, they got Euro on a deep line A. Cool. But why is he going for a hero play? Kankok's one of the most susceptible duelists in the world to make this kind of play. Like he thinks... I do wonder about his like mindset when it comes to moments like this. It's such a blunder. Like, in what planet do you need to do anything here? Like, your team is fine. Bye-bye, Zora. Is Muggle a fraud? It's really difficult to know what coaching staff are doing or what their roles are, you know what I mean? Like the way that Alex does things for PaperX is like way different than the way I would do things. And it's like, there's no... It's like there's sometimes not a right or wrong way. But I don't know what they do, if that makes sense. Like... how do I explain this? I think that EDG have enough about that game that you can criticize about that you would presume that the coaching staff does need to fix some of the stuff, if that makes sense. PaperX obviously have some stuff in that game that could be fixed, but like PaperX has such a good identity and such a good like style for themselves, if that makes sense. And I don't really see that with EDG as much. So it's like, it does come down to the coaches to figure out like what's the identity, how do we want to approach stuff. And ultimately, if you're losing, then you're failing. So, I don't know. Don't feed the VLR comments. I mean, I'm not stupid enough to think that that question is just like... There's an interesting question within that question of like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously I'm never going to be talking about coaches as if they're frauds or something. But there is an interesting question in there, which is like, what should they be doing? Or, you know, what is Muggle doing for this team? Or what is, you know... Turns out Energy can mid-round and have decent reactions. I can answer that one easily. Yeah, Slicky's a massive fraud. Turns out Energy can mid-round. Are you saying it based on this round? The round in which they got a free pick on A against the hero op? Or are we saying it on the... I still don't, like, I've not been watching the mid-rounding closely, but Energy's mid-rounding, when I watched their Americas games, when I did the VOD review, it wasn't particularly strong. It seemed like Bonker had lent the team into a scripted style of attack side calling in order to make sure that they didn't get into any problems in mid-rounds. This map is probably one of those maps where it's a little bit easier at times to make it look like you might be doing some better mid-rounding, because it is just an attack side of map. That being said, like, Ethan isn't stupid. Like, he's going to be able to throw in some mid-rounds. But their style is very, from what I saw in America, is very scripted. How would one win eco rounds? Watch Paper X, I think. Because I don't understand how they do it. Hey, Andy. Hey, Andy, how you doing? I don't think this series answered any questions we had about energy. Yeah. I think that's fair. Although I'm not, like, locked into watching energy right now. Scuba has ult and Tom has ult. So EDG avoiding ults by just walking down middle. If I was them, I would have tried to have gone for a server ult play to try and just kill someone who's got an ult. Like, try and figure out a way to get an ult to come in somewhere. I think the Yori push is quite nice, though. No, they lose another 5v4. They do have Vice ult, Harbor ult. They need to make sure energy try and use these. I'm surprised energy don't use at least one of these. It feels a bit, like, very risky. They're so obsessed with middle. What does this drone do? What does this drone do? When they've been playing middle the entire time, they leave it for 2 seconds, they drone middle. I don't really know what it does. I'd rather just keep this drone, to be honest with you. We need to get drones to extremities where we can. Or, like, if we're gonna drone middle, it needs to be, like, a deep one, I think. Or we really need to know there's nothing, like, they got enough information over middle. I don't really get it. They essentially full gamble or retake on B in a 5v4. They take ages. Som's got ult, Scuba's got ult, it's over. If they're going to play retake now, they have to flank, I think, because they have ults to just isolate the deep stuff. Yeah, I think that it's tough to watch. 5v2? Once again, the simplicity of just going together without using util is lost on them. Like, what are they trying to do? Just fucking keep your guns out. That was unlucky for someone not to die, but... That's crazy. Okay, I'm gonna go... Wait, I can watch a little bit more. Let's say 3 or something. Oh, okay, let's say 3. 3 is fine. I think my friend's gonna... Okay. There's no match today now. Did you see Angel's tweet about Haven comps? Yes, I disagree with him. I think that Breach is strictly worse than the other alternatives. I think that Viper is the strongest. I think that the double duelist comp is then second, and I think Breach is the worst. I don't think it circles. I don't think there's a triangle at all. I think that Viper beats double duelist and Breach, and I think double duelist beats Breach. The only comp, at least the Euro ISO, I think personally. I think that Breach is just too weak. My opinion, like to break it down just slightly, I think that the Breach is too obvious where it's trying to do things. If you go watch the Giant X versus Sentinels game, go watch how many times the Breach stun gets value because Sentinels just walk into a fucking Breach stun. Like, it's some of the worst attack side protocols I've seen against the Breach. Like, they just did not consider the Breach stun the entire game. It was pretty bad. So like you can avoid the Breach pretty easily. And then if you got Viper, you can always just re-clear. On the flip side, well, as long as you avoid the stun and then play with the re-clear wall and just default properly, you should be able to find where it's weak. And then as soon as you find where it's weak, you go exec and you put a Viper orb down. GG, you've won a post plant. I think that works against ISO too. On defense, I think that if you use the right wall, like you use a wall like this, you can hard hold this site pretty well against the Breach, in my opinion, with this orb. It's going to still be quite difficult. On this side of the map, as long as you bait out the Breach stun, and then you can play for flooding in or retaking with this Viper wall. You just avoid it. And then they have nothing in their post plant. If they have to use Omen Paranoia and Breach stun, then you win because you have a nice juicy wall to retake with. At least you get a lot of value. Yeah. I don't think it's a particularly difficult thing to play against. Same against the ISO, really. Like, as long as you bait out the ISO shield, and the ISO is like stuck in a post plant with that ISO shield, you have a nice juicy wall to retake with. Yeah. Patch notes are out. What are patch notes? Patch notes Valorant. This thing? Our last ban wave hit 40,000 bots over the last 6 months. Why is Sticky still allowed to play the game? Agent fixes, general. Is this it? This is a patch. Oh, replays are now available. Give me comp replays, please. Shit. How useful is this gonna be though? Like, why do people like? I guess it's just a yeah. I guess it's fine. I really wish we just get it for fucking pro play as soon as possible. You have to play a ranked match first. Does it have to be ranked? Can I not just play deathmatch or something? Swift play? Oh, okay. Never mind. GG. I ain't playing a ranked game. Where is it on the... Where do I go? Is it just like on your match page? Would it be on my match page? I guess. It's not out for EU yet either. Of course. Of course. We're the afterthought. The afterthought of it all, you know. Ah, right. I'm gonna fuck off. Who should I raid? Who deserves the raid the least? Who have we got? Com's solid shout. He's going to be my backup option until we look and see if there might be someone else. Is there anyone? Wait, is Lou playing in? Is she speaking in English?
Ça n'a rien à voir avec.
No, she's not. Because I think Lou's been doing a good job, but she's not speaking English, so we raid com FPS. Right, I'll see you guys in a bit. I'll be watching Paper X tomorrow. No VOD review tomorrow. I'll be watching Paper X. See you in a bit. Thank you guys for joining and etc. etc. See you guys in a bit.